How we doing there, boys and girls? Good morning, welcome, welcome. Time to get rocking and rolling. How we doing? How we doing? Good morning to you all. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Hope they've got coffee at the ready. It is time to start again. Time to start again. We have a new account. New character. Took advantage of the Black Friday sale to upgrade one of my accounts to Shadowlands, which in turn gave me the luxury of a Shadowlands boost. This can now be our Draenor Bank character. Stuff's getting serious, yo. It's getting serious. We've got the bank characters on the go for the realms. This is going to be our third seriously active account for auctioning. I said I wanted to get to at least 3 before patch 9.2, 4 by the end of the expansion. We're halfway through the expansion. It makes sense for us to be now progressing onto our third account. It's all going good. But first and foremost, we've got to check the stuff that's going on the other realms. Let's get the other bank characters up and running. It's now getting a little bit ridiculous, the amount of Shadowlands accounts I've got up and running, but what are you going to do? It's all good. It's all gravy. As long as my computer doesn't die running what is now going to be consistently 4 versions of World of Warcraft at most times. So we're going to have the main account that we do the playing on, and then we're going to have the 3 separate bank accounts, which... yeah, we might have to do some custom config files for these bank accounts going forward, because my poor potato PC just might not be able to handle it all. It did all right back in the day multi-boxing, but multi-boxing you could literally turn everything to 0 on any account that you weren't actually, you know, the main focused account. So we'll see how it goes. Let's grab some stuff out the mailbox there. I don't think I sold quite as much. Well, we still did a reasonable Sunday. Not Hickon's level gold by any means, but we still did pretty good yesterday. I didn't focus on like listing or selling anything yesterday. I just tried to make sure that stuff was on the auction house. If people bought it, they bought it. If they didn't, they didn't. That's we didn't try that hard yesterday. There's definitely more competition coming in though. I've noticed since the I'm starting to see a lot more new names, which is totally unexpected. I was not expecting to see new names appearing in high level legendaries. I don't know if it's just due to a lack of materials has meant that, you know, the heavy hitters aren't able to restock everything, so you just happen to see more of the people. I don't know what the situation is, but 1.3 million of yesterday. Anything that's not a legendary that's interesting? Let's take a look. Amultion shot thrower. What the hell is that? Some bind on equip, something or other. 2,500 gold. Probably a world drop BOE or something. Swift arrow gauntlets for 4k. Don't know what those are. Let's investigate. Oh, haha, money problems. Money problems. We need to transfer some gold somewhere. For now, I'm just going to fill the guild bank. In fact, if I fill the guild bank, is that going to completely screw up my TSM graph? It probably will. Yeah, whatever. Deposit 5 million. How many zeros is that? Here we go. TSM should keep track of that, surely. So what were those things that we sold? What were the things that we sold? Revenue, sales. Level 60. Oh, haha. Alright, fine. A Shadowlands world drop item then. Requires level... Oh, no. No, BFA, but it looks like it requires level 50. 0.01 sale rate on these things nowadays. Getting 2,500 gold for it. Sure, absolutely. Not a problem whatsoever. Cheap as all hell, but it's fine. Somebody got themselves a bargain. What else did we sell that was non... There was something else in here. There was definitely something else. What was it? Oh, Swift Arrow Gauntlets. 4,000 gold. Level 35. Wrath of the Lich King crafted gloves. Huh. Well, what do you know? Apparently Mog does sell. Apparently Mog does sell. My own personal sale rate is 0.02 on these things, though. So we must have listed that close to 50 times to get it to sell. Well, a sale is a sale. That is very true. We will take it. Cool. Alright. That's putting us in a good spot, I think. We are closing in on 40 mil. Closing in on 40 mil liquid on this realm very rapidly. TSM doesn't seem to want to catch up here. This total gold doesn't seem to want to take into account the guild. Although it should do. But it doesn't want to. No guilds are being ignored. So it should take it into consideration. I don't know. Whatever. Right. Let's do a quick cancel scan over here then. Auctions. Oh, what's expiring? A lot. A lot is expiring within the next hour. Maybe we don't bother with this realm just yet. Maybe we do a quick cancel scan on Legos. And then we move on to the next realm. Gonna get the auction house stuff out the way nice and quickly this morning. Because it's, I'm gonna be honest, not overly interesting this part of the day. Just getting our auctions relisted is, you know, basic work. I want to get going on Draenor further today. With this account now, we can... This dude's going to get boosted. In fact, we can use the boost on this right now. Sure. Boost. Yep, sure. Yep, excellent. Yep, great. Yep, fantastic. Wicked, thank you. Even if you buy the Shadowlands, take advantage of the Black Friday deals for Shadowlands, and you get the, what is it, the Heroic or the Epic edition. I think I picked up the Epic one because it came with 30 days of game time as well for this account. The boost is still only a level 50 boost, which is not the end of the world. It would have been nice if it was a level 60 boost, but, you know, you're getting it half price, so sure, whatever. It's only a bank character anyway. Now, the only reason I would like my bank characters to ultimately end up being level 60 is so they can act as my black market auction house characters as well. I can have... And this is why I made a Volpera. I can have my Volpera camp be, you know, outside the black market auction house. I can have my Hearthstone then set to somewhere that's closer to where I do some auctioning. So we'll get this dude set up and we'll get him put in position. Presumably, considering we're Horde, it will be the Booty Bay. Booty Bay is the auction house of choice for Horde characters, so that's where we'll move this dude over. We'll do this in a little bit. Oh, 152 cancels. Oh, that's because I'm still choosing to post all of my stock. I'd rather, you know, just list everything, and, you know, if one sells, then the second one's already there ready to sell. It's not great for cancel scanning, because if you've got 3 of everything up on the auction house, it makes your cancels pretty massive. But if you don't do cancel scans, then you end up not really caring about that. Auction House Junkies of Booty Bay says welcome. Yeah, if you're Horde, it's there's pretty much no competition for auction apart from, you know, having a long boy and standing next to any mailbox in the world. But I'm not that fortunate, so. How we doing, Haddock? Good morning to you. Welcome in. Good to see you. Right, let that do its thing. Let me just quickly check that these accounts aren't all trying to run at like stupid. They've got max background on, that's fine. Let's get the next account on the go without moving an inch. Yep, exactly. It's basically best in slot mode for auction houses, Booty Bay. Auction house, bank, guild bank, mailbox, without moving. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Can't complain. Hence why No Doritos lives. This is our Torin Mill bank character. Lives there. It's going to get pretty difficult. I might have to change the colour of my UI. Normally I have the UI colour to be the same as what the character is. But I might, for the bank characters, have to start changing the UI to a different colour so I can tell which character on which realm it is. Or maybe change the TSM colour, possibly. Because we just use the default TSM colours. Maybe we can change TSM colours. Just to make it easier to work out which account is which. Wow, we did a grand total of absolutely nothing on Torin Mill yesterday. It's not a problem. I know that if I don't cancel scan on this realm, I don't sell anything. And this is proven by, well, by not really selling anything. I don't mind. I don't mind. I'm basically considered this realm as to be nicely autopiloted now. I relist once a day just to, you know, keep my stuff there. I'm not bothered about restocking. This is one of the most expensive realms for restocking legendaries on. You can see, actually, I have, like, very, well, a poor showing of legendaries, really. I mean, I have some, but material prices on this realm are still ludicrous. Corthite crystals, still nearly 1,000 gold a piece. There's 5,000 of them on the auction house, yet they're still 1,000 gold a piece. While I love crafting and selling legendaries, I'm not paying 40k a piece for Vestige of Origins. It's just not happening. It's just actually not. I'm so glad this realm is already leveled up. And ready to rock and roll, because trying to level, I suppose, well, you're just gonna have to fight through the default traditional way. This is almost, I reckon there's goblins out there that don't really care so much for the gold right now, and are artificially keeping this price really high. I don't think this is a supply and demand issue. I think this is very artificial. I think there's probably goblins out there that are just hoovering up anything under 750 gold. I think they're making a big mistake. But we'll see. Because this is a bubble that's going to burst. The bubble will burst when everybody stops buying legendaries. And we've got so long between now and patch 9.2. This bubble will burst at some point, and these will go back down to 200 gold apiece. So if you happen to play on the big realms, now is not the time to be leveling up your legendaries. Wait a month. Wait until the bubble bursts. Wait until everybody stops buying legendaries and stops trying to artificially inflate prices. Wait for things to normalize again. And then it'll be a good spot, because then you'll be able to use Corthite crystals to rank up your legendaries as well. 2 of my 4 spots for herbs and ore is for farming is hell for no bots. It's so funny, right? Bots are literally the absolute plague of World of Warcraft. But from an economy perspective, it goes to show how much they do actually float the economy, right? When you leave farming in the hands of regular Joe, material prices become really volatile. They spike up and down because when a material drops below a certain price point, people stop farming it. And when people stop farming it, the supply very quickly gets hoovered up. And in turn, then what happens is the price gets reset and it goes back up high in price again. And then because it's really high priced, people go, oh, I can make loads of gold with this. So they farm for an afternoon, and then the price ends up tanking because there's too much of a supply. At least the one thing you do get with bots is a steady flow of materials. You know, every single day, without a day being missed, there will be a constant supply of those materials appearing on the auction house. Now, of course, if the constant supply is more than what the demand is, the price will taper downwards. But whilst bots are, yes, the plague for the game, they do their part at, like, you know, smoothing out the economy on some realms. I'm not giving bots a free pass here. I'm just saying that the way that they operate does make it easier for goblins in some regards to get the materials they need to do crafting. There's not even any ludicrous quantities of stuff on the auction house right now, you know. 120,000 lightless silk though. This is good to see. Lightless silk needs to come down in price. The drop rate has increased. Everybody should be getting more lightless silk, and it's starting to prove to be the case. It means give it another month, leveling tailoring could be really cheap. Really cheap, which is good. Annoyingly time consuming because you've got to turn all of that lightless silk into enchanted lightless silk. People who are selling enchanted lightless silk are making bank right now. God, there's so much gold to be made on these realms if you actually want to put in the time and effort to do it. Shadowghast ingots, 50 gold a piece. 50 gold a piece. Oh my days, how tempted am I to hoover those up. 50 gold a piece. What's the crafting cost of a Shadowghast ingot currently? What's the ores at? Solinum ore 7 gold, Phaedrum 11, Oxane 15, Sinvir 25. Sinvir is only 25 because it's been reset. What is it actually meant to be? Damn. I'm seriously tempted to buy those Shadowghast ingots just so that I then don't have to buy them myself. A Shadowghast ingot has 4 pieces of flux. No, because it's 4 pieces of flux to make 2, isn't it? So each has, was it 7 gold, 7.2 gold times 2. You got 14 gold of vendor materials at best price in each Shadowghast ingot. If you take 50 gold minus your 14 point, what did we say? 14.4. You've only got 35 gold worth of actual mats in each one of those. Now, there's even if your even if your ore goes down to like 10 gold a piece, I'm really tempted to hoover those up just because I can. It's nearly 1 million gold in Shadowghast ingots. That's crazy though. But I could dump them all in the bank and then not worry about them. And then I've got them. The biggest annoyance for me is crafting these sorts of things, especially when you play on multiple realms. I've already got a few thousand of them though. I'm not particularly strapped for we can do a quick calculation. We can go at current prices, 7 plus 11 plus 15 plus 25 is 58. Divide that by 2. So even at current prices, there's 30 gold worth of mats. So you're paying about a 5 gold premium for the Shadowghast ingots even at this point. But, you know, that 5 gold premium is on the premise that I then don't have to spend the time actually crafting the damn things. You know how long it would take to craft 18,000 Shadowghast ingots? TLDR, it would take a long ass time. Like, I would almost be willing to pay a huge premium to not have to spend that huge amount of time. 2 hours plus. Oh, and that, and some. What's it, 1,800 crafts an hour? You make 2, so that's 36. 1,800 crafts, you get 2 per, so 3,600 an hour. 3,600 Shadowgast ingots you can make in an hour. And in that hour, I then can't do anything else with that account. Like, literally nothing else. That's all I can do with that account in an hour. One, two, three, four. There's about 5 hours worth of consistent Shadowgast ingot crafting there. Well, maybe I just stock up a little bit. Stock up a little bit to, like, say... how many have I already got? I've already got... What if I want just 10,000 of them? Minus 31.45. 6,855. Let's just buy up to 10k of them, put them in the bank. To steal, I'd say. I mean, it's pretty hard to turn it down. Shadowgast ingots, even on a realm of this size, are unlikely to go much below 50 gold. And even if they do, it's like, well, I mean, it's not the major contributing factor to, although it said I had a whole bunch of them in the bank. I don't. Oh, they're in the bank of another character. Oh, that's even more of a lie. Oh, I genuinely don't think I've even got them in the bank on another character, you know. I think TSM's telling a fib. Oh, in that case, I'm tempted to buy more just because I can. You know how much time this saves me? And time is money. Time is money. Fuck it. It's only gold, right? I mean, you might get a Shadowgast ingot going down to like 35 gold when all of the ore prices tanks. But there is almost... I mean, come patch 9.2 even, everybody will be in the new zone. Nobody will be farming the old ores. The old ores will go up in price again. There's no way that this won't be... This won't be it's a deal, it's a steal, it's the sale of the fucking century, I think is the quote from... What was the film? Snatch? Or was that Lock, Stock? I can't remember. Either way. Shadowgast ingots for days. It's probably easier to store... You know, instead of buying 4 different ore and storing the ore, I can just, you know, consider, you know... This is like having a huge supply of ore just lying about without actually having a huge supply of ore lying about. Cool. What we need to make sure then is that TSM actually considers the right price for Shadowgast ingots. Let's just check what TSM thinks. Let's check how I've got it set up. So materials, Shadowgast ingots. So yeah, it's considering them 47 gold 82, which is our smart average buy price, right? Take off smart average buy price. Yeah. So it's going to consider the cost of my Shadowgast ingots to be 47.82 for a while. It's going to take the largest of my smart average buy price and then whatever. Yeah, if the market price tanks on them, which I really doubt it to do. Market price is 64 gold a piece on them, and that's on the cheap end. 32 gold. We're ignoring. We take it. Yeah, crafting cost is cheaper, but that's fine. I'm happy with that. 50 gold a piece for Shadowgast ingots is a nice ballpark number. Nice roundish numbers to work with. Cool. Let me do... Did we finish our cancel scan over here? We didn't. Blue did say that mats for lower tier legendaries would be easier to come by in 9.2. But it's unclear if they meant the actual mats or the upgrade mats. Mats. I haven't read that myself. If I could get a link to that, I would love to have a read. if you happen to have a link. I would love to read that word for word to try and see what I think about it. Don't go too far out your way, though. I mean, if you happen to have it to hand, sure. But this just here with our Shadowgast ingots was an exhibition in what you need to be able to do to multiply your gold. You need to be able to put yourself in a position where you see a good deal on something and to be able to buy all of it. Because the fact that I now bought all of it takes away the opportunity for anybody else on my realm to even have any part of that. So anybody else, if they need to buy Shadowgasting, if they've either got to now craft them themselves or they have to pay the higher price, which instantly gives me an edge. It might not actually result in an advantage, but it's an edge at least, which is kind of the point. And the more mini little advantages you can give yourself, the better the chance you have of selling your stuff and also selling it profitably. Don't know if I should wait till a month after release to sell the mats or sell when Mythic Raid releases. I usually don't suggest like holding on to materials for very long. If you're buying, I mean, for starters, I usually don't suggest buying materials with the mindset of only reselling them, because that just becomes very risky. More importantly, I also would definitely not suggest holding out for the best possible price. If you can sell something for a profit, you should probably do it. Don't be too greedy. Be happy with a small profit. Flip them back out. Get your gold back. Use that gold to reinvest into something else. Starting zone. Let's take a quick look. Oh, I think I've read through this. Yeah, there was a whole thing about legendaries. There will be a new rank of legendaries, but to upgrade it will require cosmic flux. Hang on. Let's put this on screen. So this interview came out and they said, tier sets and legendaries. There'll be a new rank of legendaries, but to upgrade will require cosmic flux, a new currency inspired by the echoes of Nyalotha, which is obtainable from nearly every endgame activity, including raid, M+, world quests, and even Torghast. Previous legendary ranks will still require older materials, but those are far easier to farm than they were when current. Yeah, this feels very much like they're talking about Soul Ash and Soul Cinders, considering they've removed the time gating on Soul Ash and Soul Cinders. We also know that there's going to be... It's already been data mined. I've not seen much info go out about the new Torghast, but it's already been data mined that there's going to be a new Torghast mode, the Jailer's Gauntlet, which I believe is a 5-floor mini-game coming to Torghast. There's also going to be more. What we have? We have like layer 12 right now. There's going to be 13, 14, and 15, I think. Maybe even 16. I can't remember. There's at least 3 or 4 more tiers coming to Torghast. Which the likelihood is the Soul Ash, the Soul Dust. Soul Ash, Soul Cinders are going to then just be really easy to acquire, because you'll just be flooded with them. Which, yes, I think this is referring to not like materials, but actually like legendary specific materials. And arguably, even if you want things like Korthite crystals, you'll be so overpowered for Korthia, you'll just zerg Korthia. Like the Shaping Fate, you'll just bang it out in 5 minutes. People can get Shaping Fate done in less than 20 minutes at the moment anyway. kill a few rares, you know, do one round of daily quests, kill the world boss, and Shaping Fate is done. Whether people will continue to do Shaping Fate will be interesting to see, because arguably until the end of the expansion, Corthite crystals will still hold some value until the end of the expansion. The second we go into 10.0 though, they'll have absolutely zero value whatsoever. People will likely just skip rank 6 once the new zone comes. Well, you say that, but people went by the same theory with rank 4. People will be like, oh, people just go straight to rank 6. And it didn't actually end up being the case. Even to this day, one of the best sellers and most profitable is often the rank 4s. Because you're not risking, you know, you're not risking your mortgage on Corthite crystals. There are some big ticket items still, but you're taking so much more of a risk here. Whereas rank 4s are often just as profitable without anywhere near the level of risk. When Corthite dries up and it costs more to make a 6 than a 7, they'll skip it. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, like, if price completely seesaws the other way, but I would still say that ranked 6s will be... and especially until we know what it's going to take to make a rank 7. Now that we know that there's only going to be one new rank, it's going to be rank 7. Well, there's actually, we don't know this yet. There's still two possible ways that Blizzard could take this. The first way is that you get a rank 7 and your rank 7 is done. You know, complete. Tick that box. If that's the case, you'll probably find that the rank 7 will be quite a high item level, but I equally would imagine it will take you quite a lot of effort to then get it. It will probably take a lot of this Cosmic Flux. We don't know how much Cosmic Flux you get or how limited in its supply it will be. So yeah, there's a good chance that if there's just one rank 7, then you make your rank 7, you get your rank 7, and then that's it, you're done for legendaries. The other option is they give you the ability to get your rank 7 really quite quickly, but then you can continue to use Cosmic Flux to increase your rank 7 legendary. So it kind of does both. There's there's the crafting element. You need the base item for your rank 7, but then there's personal progression on the legendary further using more Cosmic Flux. If they do that, then the rank 7 will be like the rank 5 was. You'll get it really quickly. It'll be relatively cheap, I would imagine. That will then be right. Everybody gets their rank 7 quite quickly, and then they progress upwards. We still don't know that yet. We'll have to wait and see. We need a PTR and a bit of actual game testing for that to be determined. So we'll see how they do it. All in all, hope I didn't miss too much. No, Crunchy, you've not missed a huge amount. We've just we accidentally bought ourselves about 18,000 Shadowghast ingots. Because you see a deal, you got to buy a deal. We're just working on getting our mailboxes up and running. Accidentally, kind of click the button, press the button. Didn't really think about it too much. See a deal, buy a deal. Worry about it later. Not truly an accident, but you know what I mean. Right, let's do cancel on Legos here as well. The more you think about something, the more you put yourself off doing it. So it was just short of 1 million gold, I think, in Shadowghast ingots. So somebody's made themselves a fair amount of. Well, let's think about it. Somebody probably actually, let's say somebody crafted those over the weekend, and they had their materials at a good price to be able to sell them for that. Let's say somebody made, I don't know, somebody made, let's say best case scenario, 10 gold each on each one. Somebody just made 180,000 gold crafting and selling shadow gas ingots. I can't imagine they made more than 10 gold a piece on them. Because at 50 gold a piece, you know, when you take into consideration vendor mats, didn't think too much. No, he punched on the calculator like 3 times. Oh, that's my definition of not thinking much. That's my definition of not thinking much. I did some quick napkin maths and decided, yeah, sure, it's fine. Let's go. I never go in completely blind. I'm not dumb. I wouldn't have amassed, like, stupid gold if I'd done dumb things like that. Napkin maths is good enough, though. We didn't spreadsheet it. Let's put it that way. That's when we know you're getting real serious. Real serious when the spreadsheet comes out. We didn't need any of that business. Right, let's get everything relisted. Admittedly, moving on to a third realm now is going to mean that we're going to have a lot more auction housing to do. But in turn, it should hopefully mean a lot less necessity to cancel scan. The only realm we're going to really need to do cancel scans on in the near future is going to be Draenor, because I'll want turnover, and I'll want turnover fast. But luckily that realm is monstrous, so it shouldn't be too difficult to sell things. That is the plan. That is the plan. Yeah, we set up our new character for Draenor. What do you think of the name? Do we think it's a good character name? I think it was quite fitting. I'm really bad at names. Streamer spelt correctly though was missing, so somebody had already taken it, so I was like, right, screw you. But now we have a level 50 on a new account. They're gonna need enchanting. Once we can level them up with enchanting, we'll be good to rock and roll. Ah, long time no see indeed. How we doing? Welcome in. I assume long time no see is I presume you stopped playing WoW. It's you. I usually assume that people disappear randomly because, you know, if you're not playing WoW, I understand. Or I offended you in some way, which is equally possible. If so, I apologise. Do we know if our crafting characters need to stay up to date with the next content? I don't know. We don't know at this point. On that note, though, I have been doing some preparation for patch 9.2 already. I'm offended by you apologising. Well, fuck you. Some preparation has been done, mainly because I know that as soon as the PTR comes out, I am quite definitely going to live on the PTR, meaning I won't feel I have anywhere near as much time to dedicate to actual retail. I would say that getting to Renown 80 is probably not mandatory on crafting characters, but I would say that it is smart to do, considering we already know that Renown is not increasing. 80 is going to be the cap, but what we don't know is what requirements are there going to be on learning the new ranks of legendaries, or the new rank, I should say. How do we get the Tome of Eternal? How do we get the Vestige of Eternal? We don't know yet. Getting Renown 80 could be one of the requirements. Equally, completing the 9.1 campaign could also be one of the requirements. So, what I'm going to do, regardless, on my characters that craft legendaries for me, is I'm going to get them to renown 80, and I'm going to get the campaign done. If I do both of those, I consider myself safe on those characters. Now, for most of you out there, that means you might have to do it at max 4 times. Hopefully only twice, because, you know, combining legendary crafting on characters. But yeah, that would be what I would recommend do. Get Renown 80, get the 9.1 campaign done. If you've done both of those, you'll probably be safe. I can't think there'll be anything else you would need going in, considering we're going to have a new zone. So there's no like rep requirements or anything like that that should be a thing. Get their item level over 220 as well. Well, to be honest, you can do the campaign quite comfortably with like 200 gear. The 9.1 campaign is a bit annoying in terms of the fact that you spend a lot of time killing elites. So as long as you at least have some idea of what you're doing with that character, it's not going to be too bad. I'm not particularly looking forward to doing the campaign on my druid characters because I don't know how to play a druid. I might just go bear form and just tank. It'll be slow, but I won't die. We'll see. Because, you know, bear form, thrash a bit, things die. All but slowly, things die. We'll see. Barely check my auction house alt and raid log once a week. Still tune in to listen to the economy ramblings though daily. Oh, well, thank you for that. I'm glad that my ramblings are at least constructive for you. Right, let's get these last few things on the auction house, then we can put this account to bed for a little while. They need to do 9.2 busy stuff. They're better off with a little bit of gear. Yeah, the one thing to note is that the new Crafter's Mark gear is going to come in at item level 237, I think is what it's... So today's 200 gear is going to be 237 come patch 9.2. So, you know, even if you get them into like the 220 range, you're still very quickly just going to be able to replace all of their gear with new crafted gear. So I wouldn't worry too much about trying to gear them up because you'll just be able to buy a new set of gear anyway. Got to listen to the old man ramblings. Hey, we haven't even got into rant mode yet. Like, wait till the rants start. Wait until I start reading Blizzard patch notes. Then shit goes down quickly. But right, I think we are... All of this is expiring soon. So we'll, in about an hour's time, we'll repost all of this when it expires. I'm not going to cancel it now with only an hour left on it, though. That's actually that's like 400 auctions. Okay, we'll come back to that then. This account is basically just chilling now. Fine. This one. Next on our list. Not too many cancels to do here because we are way outside the realms of competitive on a lot of these prices at the moment. But I don't mind too much. Just got to work to discover I left my computer on all weekend with your stream open. Oh, well, thanks for the view time. Thanks for the watch time. Appreciate it. Hello. Mantha's trying to steal your job. What's more interesting is that you're choosing to watch my live stream while at work. I hope your boss doesn't mind. I'll have to try to not be too distracting. I know that's probably a byproduct of me streaming at the hours that I do, but you know, it's I know it's not convenient hours for most people to watch. People who actually have lives probably struggle to catch the streams live, but I appreciate those that. I'm not saying all of you guys don't have lives. Let me just clarify that. Oh dear, dug myself into a hole real quick there. I'm saying it's more difficult for people to watch based on the hours that I stream, because most people are busy. Oh god. Oh god. I cancelled myself. Cancel scanning is a job. It feels like it, but when the going's good, then I don't mind doing it. Right, I think this realm is also ready to just sit and chill. He insults me, then says I have no life. Sorry, Genie, I'm on bad form today, I think. Oops. Right, what's next on my list of things to do this morning? I guess we should explore Draenor a little bit. Maybe get this new bank character set up. Let's, because I'm still just sort of chilling for a little bit, letting people flow in before we do the economy report. I usually like to leave it about an hour or so before we start doing it, because that's arguably the main content of the stream. Let's we need to get this dude logged on through the intro bull poop. Get him to Corthia, not Corthia, Christ on a bicycle. Get him to words, brain, think. Booty Bay, that's the one. He's gonna need some bags. Well, I think you get reasonable sized bags to start with. Didn't they say the character boost is 60 now? It is if you buy it standalone. If you get it as part of a Shadowlands expansion, then it's still only level 50. My guild transferred to the biggest German realm pool. I'm only competing with like 3 or 4 people in my own little realm. Conflicted if I want to transfer my whole operation. Is it helpful when I can outfit our raiders?
Say the word.
Oh my god, my UI is broken. 7 levels of broken. Hang on. Let me fix this and then I'll respond to things. Shared profile. Oh god, there isn't a shared profile because this is a new account. Class. Continue. Medium. Continue. Ranged. Oh no, I shouldn't have pressed that button. Oh no, I shouldn't have pressed that button. Okay. Finished. Ugh! UI broken. All the broken. Moving an operation is not only costly, it's also... Realms play differently, right? One of the realms that I play on right now is kind of medium to high pop. I'm a big fish in a small pond on that realm, meaning that I can sell an awful lot of stuff every single day because I'm one of the only people actually selling. Compare that to my high pop realm, where if I don't actively cancel scan, I literally don't sell anything. So you got to remember that realms play very differently. You just want to be on the one that suits your playstyle best. I wouldn't spend too much transferring an operation unless you're aware of. I mean, it probably just maybe set up new characters. I don't know. Right, hang on. I need to fix this whole situation real quickly. Add-ons. Oh, that's going to be one of the big reasons what the problem is. Disable all. Let's start with add-ons again. this one is going to need... This is just a bank character, so it's not going to need anything too fancy schmancy. It's going to need very basic stuff. LVI in its basic fashion with its, you know, things that it needs. Legendary stock tracker, probably. Eventually. Not straight away, but eventually. Where's Postal? Postal we absolutely definitely need. Minimap button bag reborn is now a default add-on for me. A bank character needs very little, so Grade School Master and the app helper, obviously. Don't even need weak auras or anything on this. I think that's literally it. That's literally it. Okay, let's do a reload on that then. Here it's very low sell volume, but about 100% profit. That's pretty solid. 700k profit from a 1.3 mil investment. I mean, yeah, that's good. I mean, that's borderline. That's like 50%. So, yeah, you absolutely can't argue with that. That's pretty good. I can now, in theory, peace out of here, right? Yes. Skip all of this intro. Oh, can we skip all this intro bit? I think you can. It's Hearthstone out of it. I need to send the profile. LVI profile. Export profile. Choose what to export. Just the whole shebang. Import profile, go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now we're looking good. Now we're looking good. Now to get ourselves to Booty Bay. How the hell do you get to Booty Bay as Horde? Ogrimmar take the boat from somewhere, right? God, I wish I knew how to play Horde characters. Go from Ratchet. Ogrimmar Zeppelin. Ah, yeah, Ogrimmar, yes, Ogrimmar Zeppelin. That's, Zeppelin to Stranglethorn and then just fly down, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, would you look at that? Is this the right one? Stranglethorn Vale Zeppelin Master. Boom! Beautiful. Beautiful. We're going to need a TSM profile on here. We're going to need to also sync this up to our other account. Let's, for the sake of simplicity, let me close down accounts that I'm just not going to use right now. Who is this one? What is this one? This one needs not be here. Streamer hacking the game? Nah, not quite. We need a new profile. Let's call this Shadow Lands Draenor. We're going to import groups and operations to begin with. I'm probably just going to import my Patreon stuff. Right, let's wait till we are where we need to be. Let's get this account logged on and let's get TSM synced to it with our Draenor characters. Need to do a little bit of tweaking and setting up of TSM on the new account. Things like how we you know, default material prices, that sort of stuff. Let's log on this one first. Let's make sure we boom.
Zug zug.
Zug zug. Fly down to Booty Bay. While that's doing, we can go settings, account sync, enter name of logged in character on other account. Some Doritos. Is that how I spelled it? I never know how I spell my character names. Some Doritos. Yes. Player not found. Huh. Settings, account sync, streamer luck. There we go. Oh, I spelt the name wrong. That's probably why. That's better. Now it's going to try and connect. How do I cancel this? Spelt the name wrong. Right, it's going to now sync a bunch of stuff for ages. Updating. Good. There's a few things we're going to need to fix. Let me import some stuff first. Where's my import data? Where's my Patreon import stuff? We might as well start with that. TSM full profile. Hey, here's a good opportunity for me to run through what it's like for new Patreons. Pinned messages. Here's the Manthius Premium TSM imports. Google Sheet. Lovely stuff. Shadowlands professions. Okay. Every single Shadowlands crafted item in one place. Beautiful. Control C. No. Yeah, Control C. Control C on that one. Import groups. Import groups. Paste string. Beautiful! God damn, I love my Patreon profile. All materials, all professions, base legendaries, everything, operations, the whole shebang. BEA beautiful. Base Legos, minimum profit stuff. Mwah! Right, what else are we going to need to do to get that fully functional? That's it, basically. Let me check whether... does the custom price source come in? It didn't bring in the custom price source for me still. I think I know why it doesn't do this, but... Lego dis. String 100 gold. Okay, that's pretty much all I need to do. I'm going to need... Oh, actually, I've done a boo-boo, haven't I? I've come all the way out here, and I've just realised the very first thing I need to do on this character is learn Shadowlands enchanting. Because this dude's going to be my enchanter. I suppose it's not the very first thing I need to do, but it's definitely something that needs to be on my list of things to do. Maybe then I will set my camp down here. Do I have camp ability? Where's camp ability, sir? Is it in part of the general stuff? Make camp. So we need a button for return to camp. We need a Hearthstone button. Where's our Hearthstone set? Oh, BFA. Ugh. Right, well our camp is set there all the same. I do actually need to go and learn some professions. I've got 20 minutes till I can do that because I've already used my Hearthstone. Alright. I also need to make a guild actually for this one. Having a guild would be incredibly useful. Okay. We'll think about that in a minute. I want to try and not log... Oh, up to date already? That was quick. How much of that do I not believe? Oh, it's brought some data. Okay. All right. Okay. It seems it's got the characters. Okay. We're good. We're good. Let's what's the is there anything else I need to import? I'm going to import some extra bits and pieces. Or do I just want to start with Shadowland stuff? I want old materials. Where's my old materials import? Operations. Sorry, groups. Import groups. Old materials. We want that one as well because I might do some simple flipping over here. Does that have operations with it as well? Oh, it's so smooth. So smooth. God, pat myself on the back. Nothing beats having every single material ever made nicely organized into groups. Oh, beautiful. Right, okay. What we probably need to do now actually is to transfer everything that was on Derelia, as she was acting as bank character up until we got ourselves a bank character. Actually, there's one thing, and that's having correct operations assigned to each group. Well, yeah, true, and that. Yeah, that's almost as annoying as making the groups themselves. Oh, gold. Yes, please. Money, money, money. Also morning. How we doing? How we doing? Welcome in, Ginny. Right, now I guess we can just send all of this stuff to Streamer Luck. Yes, 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 and yes. That's probably everything though, to be fair, right? One of those. Soulbound, bind on equip. Send that off first. Bind on equip, soulbound, bind on equip. Okay. I've got a lot of trash in the bags. With the 9.2 Lego slots currently occupied by Dom slots become available again. Well, don't forget we're getting tier sets in 9.2. Tier sets are basically going to do the same as what Dom slots have done. So I don't think the meta for legendaries is going to change that much. We need to do a talk. We need to do a TED talk on legendaries, though. I'm actually thinking about doing a video today about what we currently know about the legendaries, because I'm seeing a lot of people have read Blizzard's info that they've given on legendaries, and people have understood it wrong. I'm very certain that a lot of people have understood it wrong. Because the belt thing was arguably Blizzard's way of making it simple. But in true Blizzard fashion, by trying to simplify it, they've actually made it more complicated. Because Blizzard are going to give you a legendary belt. Or I say give you, allow you to acquire. We don't know what the, means of acquisition is yet. Blizzard are going to let you acquire a legendary belt, which will have your Covenant power on it, and it will automatically switch to whichever Covenant power is relevant to you based on which Covenant you're in. What they're also doing is they're making that same ability a legendary memory. So you can go to the Rune Carver and put that Covenant switching ability on something else. So that if, say for example, you are a warrior who uses a Shadowgast belt, or Shadowgast Waistguard as it's correctly called, you don't have to recraft that Shadowlands Waistguard. You can recraft your Covenant one, or it's annoying. Because, this is, like I said, this is typical Blizzard. Oh, let's make things easier for everybody. Let's just give them a belt. Well, in turn, actually, by giving you a belt means that their decision yeah, they've just fucked things. But yeah, from a crafter's perspective, from a goblin point of view, I don't think the meta on legendaries is going to change all that much at all. If anything, I actually think it pushes even more people to use a legendary ring. My initial thoughts is already that Shadowgast people are going to want this Covenant switching power ability. They're going to want that on a ring. They're going to want that on the ring because it's the legendary power that they want, but probably not their best legendary power. There's very few classes in the game who actively seek out to use the Covenant legendary power right now as their number one. There are a few classes that do, sure, but considering we're going to be able to equip 2 legendaries, one of them has to be your Covenant power. That's still probably not going to be the primary legendary. Putting on a belt for most people will be fine, but I actually think most people will probably want it on a ring because you have 2 ring slots, right? You got 2 ring slots. It means that you can put it, okay, well, I'm going to have this legendary. This legendary purely because of it. I mean, having an extra power is better than not having a power, sure. But so they're going to just want to put it on something that's out the way. If the belt happens to clash with tier sets or any other strong piece of gear, they're going to want that not on the belt. They're going to want it on something else. My initial thoughts is most people who try to min-max their gear, I should say, are probably going to want to swap from the belt to the ring. Especially for classes where the belt is the slot that they use for their legendary right now anyway. I'm looking at you, warriors. So, yeah. There's some weird shenanigans going on with the legendaries. I mean, obviously, this is all so early days on the basis that we don't even have the PTR yet. So, I wouldn't concern yourself with it too much just yet. Can we just get rid of some of this trash that I don't need? Oh, these are all the boost trinkets and rings that you can't do anything with. You can't even vendor the damn things. Why you can vendor the gear, but you can't vendor the trinkets and rings, I never understood.
May your blade never dull.
Min-Maxer will put the Covenant one on a high stat slot, assuming that it's higher item level than the regular gear. So they will replace, for example, the tier chest with it, since they only need 4 out of the 5 tier pieces, and they want to replace the tier piece that has the bad stats for their class. I mean, that's what they'll probably want to do with their main legendary. That makes sense to me for the main legendary. Although they could just as easily do it with the Covenant legendary. Yeah, it's a clusterfuck already. Main legendary slot is restricted though. Well, they've said that the rune carving memory will allow you to put this Covenant switching power on something else. We don't know if it's going to be restricted on what that something else is as well. We don't know. Looking at legendary sales, most are not min-maxers. Oh, that's very true. That's very true. The main one, you might switch it around depending on the encounter. The Covenant legendary, you're just always going to wear it. Yeah, that's true. The Covenant Lego is probably going to just be, you know, that's why I think that you're going to want it in a slot that you can just forget about. And there's only a couple of slots that you can just forget about it. Sure, the belt is a good one, but there's also a good chance that the belt will clash with something else. If it does clash with something else, the only other slots that you have that you can forget about it, I mean, the ring is the obvious one, right? Because you have 2 ring slots. The chances of you getting 2 super duper mega powerful rings that would replace it is pretty slim. Ret Paladin is a Kyrian Covenant currently, which is already best on the waist at the moment due to Dom shards. Most likely will move to the chest in 9.2. Yeah, like I said, Blizzard saying, right, here's a legendary and it goes on your belt does not make things easier. Does not actually make it easier for most people. Like, you know, letting people choose 2 legendaries and where they put them is actually easier than Blizzard then saying, oh, well, if you put one on your belt, you get one for free-ish, maybe, possibly. Why add another variable? It doesn't actually make it easier, but GG Blizzard, thanks for that. Is this the bank?
What's up?
Where's toggle bags? What do you mean no? What? Why can't I purchase bags? Oh, press that button, okay. Oops. Pressing the wrong button.
Go get him, champ.
We might as well use these free Ember Silk bags.
Don't be a stranger.
Why does it
Yeah.
close the bank every time I equip one? That's really annoying.
Is it real? What's the word on the street? Be careful out there. Yeah.
Right. Reagent bank. Right, okay. Right, this character then is now back to being just purely a farming character. which is what it was meant to be in the first place. We're going to spend a lot of time on this character, just not quite yet. Nothing on the auction house. Good, 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 good. Let's send the gold over to... This character now doesn't need any gold, so limit 1,000 gold. Send the rest of it to Streamer Luck. Beautiful. This character can now. This character's now donezo. Have a bunch of stuff. Free Legos good for all the alts that don't have one. Well, yeah, that's true. The thing is, like I said, we got to be really careful that we don't call it a free legendary yet, because Blizzard did not call it a free legendary. Blizzard said you will acquire a belt. What we don't know is what do you need to do to acquire the belt. Is it locked behind campaign? Is it locked behind reputation? What's the situation there? Because nothing is ever free. Nothing is ever free. If it doesn't cost you something, it means that you're going to have to pay for it in some other way. If it doesn't cost gold, it's going to cost you in some other way. We need to work out what that other way is. It might just be, I mean, who knows? Blizzard could be doing everything in their power to, you know, make people happy. They might just, you know, log in 9.2, boom, here you go, have a legendary. But I wouldn't expect that. If it happens to be a thing, sure, but I wouldn't expect it. Right, so now with nothing really to... Let's just very quickly put these bits and pieces on the auction house then. We might as well try and get some sales if we can. Wow, Essence of Valor's got pretty cheap. I probably should post these properly, not by doing it manually, but I can't be bothered right now. I'll just undercut whatever's the cheapest for the moment. Right. Short of just getting some professions though, our bank character is currently good to go. New character, yes. This is now we are as close to fully set up on Draenor as can be. We have 3 characters on Draenor: our farming druid, our hunter, and our paladin, who between them have the 4 legendary professions. I'm now on these dudes. I'm working through getting tier 4 and honored on both of them for some 200 and 230 catch-up gear. Crafting and selling that catch-up gear is what will probably help us generate some quick and easy early gold to get cracking on legendaries. We also need to do the campaign on these 2 to be able to unlock the Vestige of Origins to get going on legendaries. And we need to all at the same time be making a little bit of gold, because we are still not stupidly... Okay, this gold total's wrong. It seems to think that Derelia still has 34,000 gold. Well, they don't, because we've just sent that all across. So yeah, we need to make some gold, we need to craft some things, we got to sell some things. But we are set up on Draenor. Character-wise, account-wise, we're getting there. We just need to chip away at a few things now. It might be time, actually, before we go too far, to do the WoW economy report for the week. Before we do that, I'm going to need to go grab a drink. I need TSM to learn that this character now doesn't have all the gold. TSM's got no clue what's going on now. Right, let's let TSM do its updates. Streamer luck offline. That's a lie. I mean, it's literally right here. Yeah, TSM needs to... oh, it's still trying to send information to some Doritos. Okay, TSM needs to catch up. Maybe a reload. Alright, well, we'll let it do its thing in the background. On that basis then, let's get going with the WoW economy report for the week. I want to go through this in a bit of detail. Boom. What I do need to do first though, I need to go grab a drink before we get too deep into it. Here's the link for the report, boys and girls. If you've not had a chance to go through it yourselves already, you can take a quick sneak peek. We'll go through it, break it down, have a chat about it, see what's what. Let me just real quickly though go grab a drink before we get on with this, because I'm out of coffee. No coffee equals no good. Back in 2. Alrighty, boys and girls. Right. Now, for those of you that are regular viewers, you'll be aware that we go through this most Mondays. Samadan puts this together for us on a Sunday. He usually streams on a Sunday night himself and goes through this in a bit of detail. But it's become a bit of a habit of mine to go through this on a Monday. It's a good way to keep up with what's been going on, and quite often to, you know, see what's going on maybe next week. Sometimes I try and record this in a fashion that I can just, you know, cut this bit out and put it on YouTube. I've stopped doing that as of recent because, I don't know, it just felt a bit lazy. I'd rather do something, for the main channel at least, I'd rather do something a little bit more constructed videos rather than just stream snippets. But if you're here and you're enjoying, then you get the bonus to see it live. But let's take a little bit of a look then. For the new viewers, don't be scared with the voice changes. Look, I don't have a YouTube voice. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have a YouTube voice. It's fine. But right, so we have professions and 9.2 professions and materials, double legendaries. Where's the Brutus
Is that your
all gone?
wallet? Or are you just glad to see me? Both, I hope.
How we doing, Derp? Thank you very much. Tier 1 for 6 months. 6 months. Half an anniversary. Cheers, my friend. Thank you, thank you. So, yeah, last week we got some info about patch 9.2. I don't need to talk too much about this because I would rather plug my own YouTube video if I'm honest. Thanks to Samadan, though, for highlighting my profession video that I did on this. This was just a quick, short fire, bang, 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 this is what's coming. I didn't really go into too much detail about what these materials were going to be used for, because let's be honest, at this moment in time, we don't really know. But new materials, this is something that we usually see towards the tail end of most expansions. They'll release a new slew of materials for us to go out and collect, and hopefully it will, you know, mix up the economy in some way. Time will tell exactly how it plays out. But for those that are interested, we have a new cloth, we have a new ore, new herb, new skin, a new fish, and a new meat, all with some very interesting names of which I hope Blizzard change some of them, because they're just tongue twisters. Progenium ore, protogenic pelt, precursor plasoderm, protoflesh. God damn, Blizzard, pick a new word, right? Pick a new word for Christ's sake. First flower, I can live with first flower. That sounds pretty easy. Silken protofiber, I guess that's alright. But progenium ore, no, get rid of it. We're just going to call it pog ore if that's the case. Pog ore, protopelt. I have no idea what we're going to call the fish. Precursor. Is Samadan spelt fish wrong? Flish. A new flish. Or maybe it's a capital. He's put a capital I in there somehow. Either way. New materials. All good. Those are good names for an 80s rock band. Yeah, you're right. The precursor plasoderms. Yep. The new word is proto. Yeah. Well, we had proto drakes all the way back in the day, so yeah, they need a new word. We'll just call them the cosmic materials. Everything else is cosmic in patch 9.2 by the looks of things. So, along with the materials, we have some upgrades to the Crafter's Marks. Crafter's Mark 4 and Crafter's Mark of the first ones. This is going to annoy me because I already call Crafter's Mark of the Chained Isle Crafter's Mark 4. Now, I can't call it Crafter's Mark 4 anymore. I'm going to need to remember what it's actually called, because we now have a Crafter's Mark 4. And in turn, we're going to also get a Crafter's Mark of the first ones. Crafter's Mark 4 is going to use Burst Flowers and Nightshade. So it's still going to hold some, or at least the alchemy version of it, obviously. Samadan's linked to the alchemy version here. That just like there has been in previous times, each profession will craft it using a different amount of materials. Crafter's Mark of the first one, Same as the Crafter's Mark of the Chained Isle for the most part. 262 item level, but unique equipped again. You can only wear one of them. Nightshade at 10 gold here. It can only go up, right? Well, this was the thought of many already. We're going to see, because what usually happens, we'll talk about this in a bit of detail, more detail at some point. What usually happens is that when there's a new zone and a new quantity of materials, guess what everybody wants to do? They want to farm the new materials. So not only is everybody going to be in Zereth Mortis just because it's the new zone, everybody's going to be there anyway. Anybody that tries to do farming of materials is going to also probably look to Zereth Mortis to do their farming. Now, if it ends up being anything like, say, for example, Nazjatar, what happened when Nazjatar and Mechagon was released is those zones have the new materials, but they don't have the old materials, which basically meant that all of a sudden, overnight, almost everybody stopped farming anchorweed because no longer were people doing the normal herbing routes. They were spending all their time farming up Xanthid. Because it was the new, shiny, expensive herb. But what that ultimately meant was that Nightshade went through the roof in price. Anchorweed, went up in price because all of a sudden, everybody stopped farming it. And on top of that, it was still needed to make all of the new stuff. So I think Nightshade is in a similar position. Now, I don't want to pull the trigger and go out and tell people to buy all the Nightshade because we've not even seen the PTR yet, right? All the information we have right now is purely from data mining of the patch notes. We don't even have the PTR live for people to go on and even see this with their own eyes yet. So I don't want to, tell people to go buy all of the Nightshade, but arguably a similar thing appears as if it might happen. If Nightshade is too cheap to be true, then yeah. You got to remember, Nightshade is technically a rare material. The reason it's super cheap now, though, is because, well, there's not a lot of people buying flasks. Is the God's honest truth. Learned my lessons from BFA with farming in terms of gold making when 8.2 was out. That don't farm the new herb if you want to make gold farming, since the bots will be there. There is more herbs / ore per hour than the new herbs or ore. That is usually the case. What people don't necessarily pay too much attention to is the fact that they will see these new herbs and they will see these new ores and they will have a much higher price to them. But the difference is like you said, you can't farm up the same quantity of them. If you can farm up a lot more of something that's only slightly cheaper, you will earn more gold per hour by doing that. We'll have to see what the bot situation is come the new patch as well. Okay, got it. Just bought a mill of Nightshade. Hey, you do you, but like I said, I'm not going to pull the trigger on actively telling people to do that, but with Nightshade being super cheap right now, it doesn't seem to be out of the realms of possibility for a good investment. I think you're forgetting that we won't have big armies of multi-boxes and maybe bots this time round. That is true. That is true. We're not going to have multi-boxes this time round, which just adds a whole bunch of is it validity? Is that the correct word to the price of materials? Yeah, the typical disclaimer, this is not legal advice. This is merely some dude on the internet that's played this game for 17 years. But anyway, yes, we were talking about crafters marks and stuff. So a whole new, bunch of information around crafters marks. Every profession that can make the crafters marks now will get 2 new variations that will use the new material. So you can see for the alchemists, for example, they're using first flowers now instead of, what is it, like I can't remember what goes into making them now. Where's my cheat sheet? Optional reagents. Crafters Mark 3 and 4. Yeah, alchemy is using a whole bunch of Death Blossom and 25 Nightshade. 30 Death Blossom, 5 Nightshade. Yeah. So you can see the 5 first flower, 5 nightshade, which would in turn indicate, based on what they seem to have, you know, things are not balanced yet, sure, but 5 first flower should in theory be the equivalent of 30 Death Blossom. That's 6 times rarer than what Death Blossom is. What's Death Blossom kicking about now, price-wise? What's the average price of Death Blossom? Like 4 gold? Something like that? 6 times 4, 24 gold. 24, like 20 to 30 gold a piece for first flowers. Seems about sensible for the beginning of a patch. Wait for it seconds before the patch releases. They'll up the price by 40. Yeah, I know. Still seen many people multi-boxing, since they don't just buy new accounts and don't link them all, so their client sees them as one account each instead of one big one. I mean, look, I don't want to get into the multi-boxing conversation again. Multi-boxing wasn't banned, it was just made far less efficient. You can still multi-box, it's still perfectly legal to do. Are you going to get mass reported by lots of people? Arguably falsely? Yes, you probably are. It's the risk you take with multi-boxing nowadays. There are, additionally to new crafters marks, there's also going to be a Vestige of Eternal, which is going to act very similar to the Vestige of Origins. But whereas the Vestige of Origins adds 2 ranks, the Vestige of Eternal is going to add 3 ranks. This is how we're going to be able to make a rank 7. You will add a Vestige of Eternal onto a rank 4 pattern, to then, you know, spew out a rank 7 at the end. Again, no surprise here, but it further adds to the legendary system and should work out well if you've already invested in that market. Yes, yes. This though is interesting. This is going to mean that the only way you can get into what will be the current legendary market will be if you've already maxed out that rank. Whereas we saw in 9.1 that with the Vestige of Origins, you only technically needed to have unlocked rank 3. That would have meant that you can make a rank 3 with a Vestige of Origins, and you can make rank 5s, which are technically current content legendary base items. So going into 9.2 though, now that it appears like we will only have 1 new rank, it means that you have no choice but to have already maxed out your legendary crafting of that item slot. So if you haven't started, you're quite far behind. Maxing out a single rank of any given legendary slot right now is expensive. You'll see me doing it, hopefully, productively in the upcoming weeks and months before patch 9.2 launches. As now we're on Draenor, we're starting again on Draenor. You'll see me doing it firsthand. It's gonna cost a lot though currently. It's not, yeah. This is why you really need to be chipping away at legendaries all the time. Crafting a little bit of something, listing it on the auction house, recrafting whatever sells, and just chipping away at it. Legendaries aren't really something that you can power level that easily, unless you just have a mountain of gold to throw at it. Corthite crystals were meant to be a catch-up system. Blizzard's decision to make it so that you needed 40 of the damn things kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit. It never was able to, or it certainly wasn't able to act as a catch-up system for all professions very effectively for very long, because it only works as a catch-up system when the price of Corthite crystals dips below a certain value. A value that's not easily mathed out without the aid of a convenient spreadsheet to do it for you. Shameless plug. If you, for example, let me show you just very quickly. If you're leveling up, I don't know, your Umberhide gear, As and when your Korthite crystals get to a cheap enough point, you can see that it starts to become cheaper to craft items with vestiges as a way to allow you to craft higher rank stuff at a cheaper price to kind of help you catch up. That system only kicks in as and when the Korthite crystal price gets cheap enough, and as we know, on the big realms right now, Korthite crystals are still 800 to 1,000 gold a piece, which means that it's still expensive. It's still expensive. But one new rank of legendary so far as we know, in 9.2. Interesting note with the crafter's mark of the first ones and the vestige of Eternal is that they require a new material, the Progenitor Essentia. Say hello to your new Korthite crystal. Currently says it's tradable, which is nice to see. It depends on how it's obtained and which remains to be seen. This almost feels like an exact copy paste of Korthite crystals, just with a slight, they've an extraordinarily rare remnant of the progenitors, which can be used to craft powerful enhancements. You look at the tooltip for the Korthite crystal, it's nearly exactly the same. I imagine they just copy pasted the code and made a new item out of it. Same again though, we have no idea. Well, we do have some idea. At the moment, it seems to claim that you only need 2 of these to make a vestige of Eternal. But as we know from patch 9.1 PTR, that's all very, very subject to change. For a good period of time in the 9.1 PTR, you only needed 1 Korthite crystal to make 1 vestige of Origins. It was a 1-to-1 ratio. And look how it actually ended up. It ended up being a 40-to-1 ratio. Which, yeah. Hopefully Blizzard don't do the same thing again, but we'll see. How are we doing, Quicksand? Good morning. Welcome in. Interestingly, Progenitor Essentia, once again, something I really hope they change the name of. We ended up with Korthite crystals after we started with Progenian... What were they? Progenian fragments, I think, is what Korthite crystals started out being. Yeah, we'll see. So this time it will be 80. Oh, God, I hope not. It wouldn't surprise me, though. At the moment, this is basically Pog Essence. I'm calling it Pog Essence because I can say that quickly and easily, and I'll also remember it. Progenitor Essentia is not a word that rolls off the tongue very nicely. This is also used to make the crafter's mark of the first ones. This is something that we've not seen before. Korthite crystals go into legendaries. That's the only thing that Korthite crystals are used for. You take 40 Korthite crystals and you make a vestige of Origins. That's their only use. Literally their only use. This time round, it looks like Blizzard want these things to be used in more stuff. Having them being used in more stuff should help the market value of these stabilize a lot quicker. Blizzard probably saw from patch 9.1 that their balancing on Korthite crystals was broken to begin with, and the market was never balancing on them because they were only used by a very small fraction of people, and those very small fraction of people were willing to buy them in mass quantity to keep the price up. Goblins will do goblin things, right? But if these things start to be used for more markets than just legendaries, there's more incentive for people to go out and farm them. There's also a much wider scope of people looking to buy them, which will have a huge impact on, the buy and sell rates of these, and the market price will balance itself out much quicker. Hopefully, assuming Blizzard balance it all. That's putting the ball in Blizzard's court to do some good balancing. We know how that turns out, though. There's also a few items that we'll expect to see coming. There's a cosmic healing potion. I'd imagine we'll get some other stuff. There's got to be, if they're going to do a whole bunch of new materials, what we usually see out off the back of that is a whole new bunch of stuff that uses these new materials. So we should expect potentially new enchants, new potions, new flasks, like greater versions is the way that Blizzard usually does it. They in a super non-creative way. They'll take a a flask of power, and we'll get a greater flask of power that will use the new materials. I would not be surprised to see those coming at some point in the PTR, but what we already have is some of the basic things. Like we have the basic healing potion. We already have found the Vantis rune for the new raid. You can see here, this is weirdly, very weirdly, the Vantis rune is using the same inks as what we already have, but it's with the addition of a piece of leather. Interesting choice there. Maybe Blizzard want, they want these new materials to be spread out a little bit more than just, leather goes into leather working. Makes sense. It helps keep a good market price for them. Plus, we've got the contract already data mined once again. 3 tranquil ink and a piece of leather. So apparently scribes are going to want leather on a regular basis as well now. I would expect a lot more. Like I said, I would expect, because we have new materials, I would expect a whole new list of consumables to go with those as well. Having new meat and having new fish would indicate that, there should be new food buffs. Maybe there's a new feast. They seem to be trying something different with the feast. I don't know if Samadan's linked it here. It's not on this list. I'll talk about it real quickly. There's a new feast. It's not really a feast. It's a cooking pot, and somebody places the cooking pot, but it appears as if then everybody is going to have to contribute to the cooking pot, and then once the cooking pot is full, everybody gets the buff. This is going to mean that instead of everybody carrying around feasts, there's a good chance that they will carry around fish and meat in their bags instead. Somebody will place a cooking pot, people will put their materials in. If you put materials in, you get the benefit of the buff. This takes the emphasis away from just one person providing a feast at a high price and everybody leeching from them. This then means that the cooking pot is probably pretty cheap to make and to place, but then everybody has to contribute to get the feast buff, which I think is fairer and a slightly smarter way of doing it. We'll see how the mechanics of that work out, or whether it even ends up being that way, but I think that's a better way. You won't necessarily be leeching off other people's feasts all the time. Or the people who in your guild and raid that never turn up with feasts. Never turn up with food buffs, and but I think that could be quite a clever system. And the last thing we should probably talk about is that there's a whole bunch of new optional reagents. We saw these back in the days of the Shadowlands beta. Hopefully they'll make an appearance and add variety to the crafting options. So, crafting reagents are finally showing their face in a form that I think they probably had planned for a long time and for some reason just didn't implement until this point. But there are some interesting things. We'll have to see. These already look quite expensive, which is the concern for me. That if the optional reagents end up being too expensive, it becomes of much greater risk for somebody to use them. In turn, meaning that people just don't bother. Very much like missives. When crafting gear, most people chose to ignore the use of missives, but the reason they chose to ignore the missives is because if they click the create button enough times, they'll end up getting all variations anyway. But these optional reagents are going to do some funky things. You can see this one here, for example. Sustaining armor polish increases the duration of flasks elixirs, and food buffs. Ooh, very tasty. Now, the annoying thing is these optional reagents are realistically only going to be applied to catch-up gear. So I don't know how this is going to work with... this is probably kind of cool for, you know, while you're leveling your character. But people are going to want these optional reagents on their... or these extra perks, they're going to want them on their end-game gear. I don't know how exactly that's going to work. Because some of these are quite powerful, such as we have, you know, increased to duration flasks, elixirs, and food. This is a 50% plus. Alchemists by default get double the duration, which would be 100% plus. This is a 50% plus. So we'll have to see how this actually plays out. There's already, I already know that there's going to be a new slot. We were talking about this the other day, and I've been digging through the game files a little bit. We already know there's going to be a new slot on crafted gear where you will put these items in. I can't remember what the item slot is going to be called, but there's going to be where we have, you know, secondary stats, item level. There'll be a fourth one, so that you can basically then put this into your normal gear. Can they be created on the unique equip? Yeah, probably. That is what I was going to come to. The fact that the top end crafter's mark of the first ones is going to be 262, but unique equipped. Considering the cost of this, and considering that one piece of 262 gear is likely to be something that that person will keep on them for a lot longer than, you know, just a regular piece of catch-up gear. Your 237, sorry, 230. Set the item level to 233. That was 237 the other day. That already changed? I don't know. We'll see. Your basic catch-up gear, you'll probably replace it very quickly. Whereas this is more expensive. It's a higher item level. You can only equip one. It becomes a prime candidate for one of these optional reagents to be added to it as well. Alchemy has increased flask duration. Require a chance to acquire additional resources from corpses. This could be huge. This, you know, for your skinners, for example. The chance to acquire additional resources from corpses. That could make a massive difference to if you have a farming set, especially if this stacks. Can you imagine if this stacks on your gear? That you can then, you know, instead of picking up one piece of leather, you pick up 2 pieces of leather. And if you have this on 5 pieces of your gear, for example, you could get some monstrously equipped, you know, heavily customized skinning set, for example. Or, yeah, I don't know how it would work. Cosmic Proto Weave increases avoidance and sometimes heals you when you take damage. Magically regulated Autonoma Core. Chance to spawn an Autonoma Core which explodes for damage and healing. Chance to do AoE, basically. Pure Air Sail Extensions increases movement speed and mount speed while in Shadowlands. Once again, looks as if it could be tailored very towards making speed sets, for example. You could buy an entire set of catch-up gear for an ult, which may not necessarily be the best of gear, but if it's just a farming character, stack it with a bunch of these sail extensions and go zoom mode. Lots of possibilities here. Lots of possibilities. This is what I think, you know, I was hoping to see this before Shadowlands even went live, but it all got canned initially. There's another one. Being struck by an enemy builds electrical sparks. At 5 stacks, the circuit shorts and lashes out. So, you know, this is just a stacking buff, and then once it hit 5, it's going to do a zerg of damage, we would assume. Devouring Essence Stone. Slaying enemies increases your secondary stat for a brief moment, stacking up to 10 times. This is your DPS throughput option. Chance to harmonize something. Secondary stat gain, primary stat gain. dual crafters get your DPS throughput. There's a bunch of these. I think there's only 8 that we know of so far. But they're all quite interesting. They're all quite interesting for, you know, you might end up getting to a point where you have, you know, multiple sets of gear for doing different things out in the world. If you go do some farming, you might have a full speed set, for example, if you're running around doing daily quests. You might have what's the one? Corpse purification set for if you're doing some skinning, for example. There's lots of options here. I think it's quite cool. And like I said, the main candidate for these, I would imagine, is the Crafter's Marks are the first ones. What we also don't know is how this is going to... Are you going to need to have both of the professions on the same character to make these combinations? For example, is your blacksmith, if you want to make plate corpse purification gear, are you going to need to be a blacksmith and an alchemist to be able to make that specific combination? If you do, that's going to mean the option for people to specialize, which will be quite cool. Dual crafters with the BIS option, a unique equipped ring with a socket and a DPS trait. Yeah, exactly. If you can slap on this, you know, primary stat bonus with a yeah. Crafter's Mark are the first ones. 262 ring with a socket with a primary stat bonus on it. Pretty poggers for sure. How much the speed gain of the new items will see? I see my speed set will never be finished. This is 10. It doesn't say it in the tooltip, but it's 10%. And the data behind the scenes also seems to indicate that it stacks. So having a full sail extension set could prove to be very, very speedy. But note that this is only in Shadowlands. This would be a Shadowlands speed set. It won't apply for, you know, past expansion running. Then you'll have your old school speed sets. But yeah, optional reagents could prove to be not only a good gold maker, but it adds a nice flavor to crafting professions, which at the moment it's missing. Everything feels a little bit stale and almost predetermined. This adds a nice middle ground. We used to have loads of RNG, and nobody liked the RNG. We didn't necessarily have it with crafting per se, but nobody liked the huge amounts of RNG on top of RNG on top of RNG for gearing. But now with crafting, it seems to be the other way, that like everything is predetermined and it's just boring because of it. We'll see. These are great to add flavor and options to crafting items, but it does raise the issue that they have to be added at the point of crafting and can't be applied to an already crafted product. What does this mean as a seller? Do you offer every single permutation of reagent and item slot on the auction house? Do you create, for example, a specific speed set? Which ones are going to be favored and on which items? This will mean more player interactions with custom orders, maybe. That would be great if we have a buy order system, but how does that work with what we currently have? Truth be told, it'll be, you know, you'll craft one of everything you can craft and you recraft it when you sell it. It is the approach that I will go with. I will craft one of everything, maybe more of ones that I know are guaranteed to sell. But craft one of everything, list it at a profitable price, and then recraft what sells. And rinse and repeat. Let the market dictate to you what it wants. You're going to need 2 speed sets, one for the old world and one for Shadowlands, even because of the Azurite items, so it's okay. The new system only works in Shadowlands. Yeah, I think it makes sense that it only works in Shadowlands. Especially considering, I think, if this does end up stacking, we are going to be running around really quickly in Zereth Mortis. Or people who choose to stack this on their gear will be running around very quickly. They won't be doing huge amounts of damage, because, of course, they're going to be limited to, like, the catch-up gear item level. They won't be doing huge amounts of damage, but boy, oh boy, they'll be moving fast. But if you're gathering, for example, that's kind of what you want, right? Like, and the important thing here is mount speed. Mount speed increases movement speed and mount speed. Druids stacking the full set of 230 odd crafted gear with sail extensions on all of it. Those druids are going to be zoom mode. Actually ridiculous speed druids. Just flying around at light speed. Instant flight form and zoom sail extensions. You're going to have some very fast druids. Very fast druids. It might prove to be the difference between, you know, just what... I mean, the difference between one regular Joe going out and doing some herbing and mining and a fully customized, geared up, speed set druid doing the same farming route could literally end up with like double or triple the amount of resources. Could be quite fun. We'll see how it plays out. It's a new element to not only crafting but farming and a whole bunch of stuff. I like it. It looks good. It looks very good. Anyway, we spent a long time on 9.2 stuff already. This was meant to be a quick overview because I've already got a video that goes through this. But druids do not use mounts, so I think their flying speed will not be affected. Well, we'll have to see. Agree to disagree, because can you imagine the outroar for druids if that was the case? Yeah, I don't think that's actually how it... I think when you go into flight form, it considers you mounted as far as the game code is concerned. Anyway, double legendaries. We've talked about this already a little bit. One of the other things expected to come out was the news that we'll be able to equip 2 legendaries. However, in true fashion, this is not as straightforward as one would assume, and there may be some more min-maxing adjustments as time goes on as to which slots will end up being popular sellers. Currently, cloaks, rings are the clear best sellers in 9.1. This changed with the market, changed the market with domination sockets being the limit to certain slots. My prediction already is that 9.2 is going to have a very similar meta to what 9.1 does on legendaries. Very similar, because the offset pieces are still going to be priority for the legendaries. Your neck, your cloak, your rings are going to be the primary ones that you're going to look at to have your legendary on, because you then know that they won't clash with a tier set piece or something, for example. So the meta, I think, for legendaries is going to be relatively similar, unless Blizzard do something completely out of left field with the tier set bonuses. If the tier sets all of a sudden are on necks, if you get a tier piece on your neck, or you get a tier piece of a ring, for example, there's no reason that Blizzard wouldn't or couldn't do that. But if we assume that the tier sets are going to cover similar slots to what the domination gear does now, which kind of makes sense because, you know, your chest piece, your helm, your shoulders, whatever, it just makes sense for it to work that way. But anyway, what did Blizzard have to say on it? You'll meet the enlightened brokers in Zereth Mortis and become allies with them to obtain a new legendary belt, empowered with your Covenant's rune carving effect. So this is one of your 2 legendaries in 9.2 has to be your Covenant legendary. But you'll obtain, note the word obtain, not gain, obtain. Usually Blizzard's wording is very precise for a reason. You will obtain a new legendary belt. Probably it's going to be a rep grind to get the thing. If you want to if you want a legendary belt for free, you're going to have to do something. Campaign quest, rep gate, something along the lines. But you'll get a legendary belt either way, which will have your Covenant's rune carving effect on it. The unique characteristic of this new legendary belt, we'll find out in a minute why it's not actually unique. But the unique characteristic of this legendary belt is that your rune carving effect will switch freely alongside your character whenever you swap covenants. So if you want your Venthyr covenant ability when you're doing some PvP, and you want your covenant, your Kyrian covenant ability when you go do some Mythic Plus, for example, this legendary belt, or the power that is attached to this legendary belt, will switch dependent on which covenant you are. In essence, meaning you do not need to make 4 covenant legendaries, which some people were thinking might be a thing, but apparently not. There's no need to craft a new legendary belt for each covenant. There is, though, potentially reason why you still might want to do this, and we'll talk about that in a second. The legendary belt will match the look of your class's armor set, and will be equipped alongside another Shadowlands legendary in a different armor slot, giving you 2 powerful legendary effects to boost your power. Now, this is the bit that I think a lot of people have misunderstood. If you craft the new Covenant swapping rune carving effect on a different armor slot, if you'd like to, you can do. There'll be a new rune carving memory that will let you do this. So the unique ability for this Covenant swapping ability will become a rune carving memory. Now, we don't know how you get this rune carving memory. In true Blizzard fashion, you might need to get exalted with the new faction before you get the memory, which will then allow you to put this Covenant swapping ability on something else that's not the belt. Maybe you want it on your shoulders. Cool. You'll have to wait till you get the memory to do it before you can recraft this onto something else. It might be Blizzard's way of saying, right, everybody is going to have their Covenant ability on their belt for the purpose of the world first race and progression. But once that is over and people have, quote unquote, completed the 9.2 content, then they might let you switch it all around and put your legendary powers wherever you want them, kind of thing. We don't know how it's going to play out yet. In order to equip 2 legendaries, one must either be the legendary belt or another armor slot imbued with the new rune carving memory. So yeah, basically, Covenant legendary plus one other. Covenant legendary to begin with will be on a belt. At some point down the line, you'll be able to move it off the belt onto something else. But it's all, it's all a little bit up in the air at the moment. Here, with the common and easy option of using the belt as one of the sockets, further eliminates that as an option, even though we're not strictly limited to the belt as the Covenant legendary. We also have the tier sets to consider to where legendaries may be used to harmonize them. So, considering the majority of the people either in the stream here right now, or who may watch this at a later date, are going to be goblins who are considering, well, what legendaries should I be crafting? The only thing I would say is that crafting the belt just goes into another one of those slots that is probably not a priority. That's not to say don't level it up, because right now it's good, especially if you're a blacksmith. Shadowghast Wasteguard, for example, is one of the most popular sellers right now. It falls back into the same category of advice that I always give to people looking at legendaries. Craft one of everything. List it at a price that is profitable. Recraft it as and when you sell it. Only choose to power level something if the cost of doing so is less than what you're willing to just lose. Power leveling is always risky, and you really shouldn't be taking the advice of some random dude on the internet when it comes to spending thousands, often millions of your gold to power level something. You got to take ownership of that decision if you do it yourself. My recommendation is simple. Craft one of every legendary that you know how to craft, list it at a profitable price, and recraft what sells. And over time, the market will tell you which ones are in demand and which ones are not. There were some comments on this. This was posted on the subreddit. Some people did chime in with some information about it. For economy purposes, players will get a free legendary waste. Free in terms of it probably won't cost you any gold, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's 100% free. You'll have to probably do something, whether it be complete chapters of the campaign or grind out some reputation. Or both, who knows. It just won't cost gold, but yes, everybody will acquire a legendary waste at some point. Many players will opt to use the legendary waste instead of crafting a second legendary for the Covenant effect, since it's convenient for Covenant swapping. This is very true. This is also why I said that there is still some people that will craft a Covenant legendary for each Covenant. There will be, because like I said, this is probably going to be Blizzard saying, right, for the purpose of progression, we want most people to use the legendary belt. But min-maxers out there will probably not want to do that. Min-maxers will probably want their, the legendary powers in the slots that are most optimal for them. The likelihood of the belt actually being the most optimal one is very slim. If their sim comes back and says that, right, if you have your Covenant in the shoulder slot, you'll actually do 1% more DPS, people will do it. Now, there's not a huge amount that will do that, but some will. So this is truly most players, or many players, will choose to use the free belt because it's just convenient and easy. That's not to say there won't be others that will go against that, path of least resistance. There'll be some players that will go against the grain purely because they might be able to squeeze out 1 or 2% more DPS by doing it. And that 1 or 2% DPS to some people is worth spending the gold on. Thirdly, demand might slowly go down right now and will keep falling as we get closer to 9.2 and players start prepping for the free legendary. This was always going to happen regardless of any new changes. We're already starting to see it really start to slow down. 9.1.5 gave it a nice little a bump. A nice bump for a while. It's done some crazy things to the prices of some of the materials. But I start to see it leveling off, and ultimately it will dip down pretty soon. It's going to be an interesting market to watch, and one that's going to require a significant investment, so it's hard for many to decide where to start. We'll keep you posted as we find out more. Yeah. All very speculative right now. All very speculative. We could do with the PTR Blizz, just saying. Now, moving on to the next topic. This is an interesting one, and this is one that is applicable to me very heavily, personally. Where has the Brutosaur gone? It was queried recently that somebody who'd been looking for the Brutosaur had not seen the Brutosaur listed on the black market auction house for a long time. And it was requested of Sapu, who is the lead developer for Trade School Master, whether because of course Trade School Master have huge amounts of data on transactions and, items that sell. They do even track the black market auction house. So somebody reached out to Sapu to say, hey, look, have you seen the Brutosaur? Can you see it in your data that it still even exists on the black market auction house? And so Sapu did some digging. After seeing this thread last week and the related discussion that kicked off from it, I've wanted to take a look at the data which we, as TSM, collect around the black market auction house to see what they could find. There I found a few things. Firstly, we provide the ability to view current black market auction house listings on the website. This is on the TSM website. including the ability for premium members to see all the realms where a given item is currently listed for on the black market auction house and set up notifications for them. As expected, currently there are no black market auction house listings for the Brutasaur, meaning it is not currently on any black market auction house. As of, when Sappy was writing this. So, dug into the database to see what I could find. As a bit of context here, we don't usually store any historical black market auction house data. So they don't keep history of what's been on it in the past, they only keep snapshots of what's currently there. We just store the most recent scan which a TSM user has performed. This means that if a given user views the black market auction house on any realm on any given day, we only have the most recent scan, as this is all we need to provide the current black market auction house functionality. However, this does mean that they have some historical data based on the fact that somebody may have visited the black market auction house a month ago, but not since. So we still have that 1 month old scan. This means that we have scans going back in total about 3 months in our database. Based on querying all of the black market auction house scans that they have in their database, there was 0 auctions listed for the Brutasaur. As a point of comparison, Sapu also searched for Mimron's head, which is also pretty rare. No live auctions as of writing this, but found 79 results in the history. It seems pretty strong evidence that it has not been listed in about the last 3 months. So this only goes to show that even Trade Skill Master have not seen the Brutasaur appear on any black market auction house for at least 3 months at this point. However, there's one more thing I thought to look at which may even be more conclusive. As part of our notification service, we store the last time a given email notification which a user has configured has actually resulted in an email being sent, so that we don't send multiple emails for the same auction. Currently, there are hundreds of TSM premium users with email notifications, me being one of them, set up so that the Brutasaur, if the Brutasaur is posted anywhere in their region, split between US and EU, that they'll get a notification. The data here clearly shows that the last US notification was sent on July the 10th of 2021. And the last EU notification was sent on July the 8th. This seems to point very conclusively that the Brutasaur being removed from the auction house around then. I'll leave others to figure out what happened in the game around that time. Some people did try and work out what this was. There was a period of time, I can't remember the exact dates, but Blizzard put the Tusks of Manaroth on every single black market auction house for a period of a couple of days. I can't remember exactly why they did it, but they did it for some reason. They put Tusks of Manaroth on the black market auction house on every single realm as a chance for people to purchase them, I guess. It seems to coincide with them doing that, and also the fact that they stated that some more items had been added to the black market auction house containers. Both of those things happened in July, I think. So there's a strong chance that either it was intended that they took the Brutasaur being a standalone mount out of the black market auction house listings and put it in the boxes, and it's now only available in the boxes, or they did a boo-boo and it's just a bug. Now, that wasn't meant to be the case, and it's just resulted in it being, who knows. How do you feel now about the Brutasaur? Well, if I'm going to be honest, it now feels like I will probably never, ever, ever get it, because the list of items that you can acquire from the black market auction house containers is ridiculous. There's hundreds of things you can get from those containers, and on the realms that I play on, the containers pretty much go for between 500,000 and 1 million gold a piece. So, even with all of the gold I currently have on all of my servers, I could still probably only still probably only buy like 50, 60 black market auction house containers. Meaning even if I spend all of my gold on these containers, I still have a tiny, tiny, tiny chance of ever even getting it. And yeah, what's to say that the containers aren't even messed up as well? We don't know. Because there's no current up-to-date list of what actually is contained in these containers. So, yeah, it's a bit gross. Do you know if you can get Zygote and Farm HUD to work together? Well, you could not really know. Zygote doesn't paint its route on the map in the same way that you need Farm HUD 2 to get it to. The only other thing you could do, it's a bit gross, I know, but is you could trace Zygore's route in routes, and then routes works with Farm HUD. I guess. You could still then use the Zygote arrow and tracking and stuff. More chance of aliens landing in your backyard. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Which basically it's goes to show that Manthius will probably never have the Brutosaur. And I've accepted that. I'll probably buy a whole bunch of these containers though for YouTube content, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Box opening videos tend to do really well. People are intrigued. Because people like vicariously experience the unboxing the same. But yeah, I'll just have to be a scrub forever. Yep, that's basically it. Manthius ain't never getting his ain't never getting the Brutosaur. It's never happening. It's never happening. But oh well. Oh well. And finally, Blizzard's war on bots in Classic. The Countdown to Classic channel has published a great interview with Brian Birmingham. I've not watched this. It's about an hour long. I probably should watch it. As anytime somebody talks about bots, I'm always interested, especially from a developer's perspective. This is probably worth a watch, especially if Samadan's suggested it. They discuss in depth the issue of bots in Classic and the impact of gold buying on the economy in the game. It's well worth a listen for many of the thoughts and ideas about what Blizzard are doing to combat bots in Classic, and it also relates to retail. I might take a look at this. We might even react Andy to this on the stream at some point if it's good enough. How come I never bought it in BFA? There's a long ass story to that. The TLDR is that I had the gold to buy it and chose to spend the gold on something else. The thing I chose to spend my gold on, though, backfired on me. So I then didn't have the opportunity to... I actually, if you look at my... I haven't got the right accounts open now. I came into Shadowlands with only 1.4 million gold. That's all the gold I had at the beginning of Shadowlands, 1.4 million. Even though I've been making gold for years and years. BFA was expensive for me. I burnt a lot of gold in BFA. At the beginning of BFA, I had about 8 to 9 million gold. And throughout BFA, it slowly whittled away to like 1.4 million is then what I entered Shadowlands with in terms of liquid gold. Where's your Bruto video that we can link with !Bruto that explains the whole story? If I explain the whole story in detail at some point on stream, I'll probably just clip it and make a video. Yeah, you're right. New YouTube video, why I did not buy the Longboy. The main reason I haven't made it into a YouTube video is because it involves multi-boxing. And I hate putting out videos that even have the word multi-boxing in them anywhere. Because people get up in arms whenever you mention multi-boxing. As much as I'm happy to admit that I did multi-boxing for the most part of BFA, it's not good for public image to talk too much about multi-boxing because everybody paints multi-boxes with the same brush. I wasn't multi-boxing for the purpose of, you know, farming herbs and botting raw gold farms. I was multi-boxing from the purpose of it was just fun for me to play 8 characters at once. I was running around doing world quests with my multi-box teams. I was making teams of 5 to go run dungeons, because the complexity of trying to tank, heal, and DPS all in a dungeon was quite fun. That was the way I was multi-boxing. I had no interest in standing in one spot with 8 druids, just, spamming Moonfire all day long. That wasn't what I was interested in doing. But in turn, it meant that my method of multi-boxing was incredibly expensive, because I was buying 8 copies of the game. All of this that was done with gold, by the way. There was 8 copies of the game and 8 subscriptions every month. So it got quite expensive from a gold perspective. Hence why I started BFA with a lot of gold. And over the months and months of multi-boxing, running 8 accounts that were not paying for themselves in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, it was a bit of an expensive hobby, but one I didn't mind doing because I can always make more gold. But it meant I missed out on the Brutosaur. It also meant that I came into Shadowlands with very little gold. Multi-boxing or credit card. Click-through rate through the roof. Hey, not only click-through rate, good CPM on that one. Multi-boxing will get people to click it. Credit card will get the finance ads on the on the video. Give me those $20 CPMs. Most people don't have a problem with multi-boxing. It's the multi-boxing bots that people have a problem with. I've come to learn that anytime you mention the word multi-boxing on some form of public forum or something, everybody gets painted with the same brush, and that's of that you're the scum of the earth, we hate you. Which is why I don't talk about multi-boxing much on the YouTube channel, because it's not good for the public image. It's not like I benefit anything from talking about it, so I'm a bit more open on stream because there's like 60 odd people here, and I think I get the opportunity to explain myself. And if you still choose to paint me with that brush, then I don't care. Soloing dungeons with 5 different classes, tank 3D. Yeah, that was really fun. Trying to work out how to control everything. Setting up macros so that, when you fire off one ability with your tank, then your DPS are doing something different. Your healers then doing something different. Having mouse over macros and all sorts of clever stuff to make sure that you could heal different targets. It was just fun. It was a mini game. It was a slightly expensive mini game, but it was fun all the same. And it wasn't game-breakingly advantageous to be able to do that. It was just fun. But yeah, that was the WoW economy report this week. This was episode 203. Finally, before we close it out, we should once again give a shout out to Samadan, who puts this together for us each Sunday. He usually streams it over on his Twitch channel, so make sure to go check him out. His stream schedule and his content schedule is a little bit slow at the moment, but it's because he's busy IRL. But he does usually stream on Sunday to go through this at least. Swifty gets the same fun from creating macro. Yeah, Swifty's one-shot macros for PvP. Yeah, exactly. Do I dare read the comments? There's only 3 comments this week. I guess it's hard to not then, really, isn't it? Wow. Was that really? Okay. Great comment there. Great comment. Way to add to the conversation there. Brilliant. Regarding the auction house mount, they should add more mobile auction houses to the game. The only other option is to remove it because expansion resets exist for a reason. Well, yeah, but that reason is to make money. And people should not get advantages from old expansions that persist so prominently. You're talking like a dev without being a Blizzard dev. It's odd. Sure. They need to do a few things. Any early progression should be allowed to be max for alts. more slash powers and renown 80, etc. The anima should be transferable. It is. The Covenant... What? Covenant loses, they lose our anima. Don't see the issue here. It will allow players to gather other armor styles. I really don't like gated content. Just give it to us and let us decide how we play. I'm not totally sure what this middle paragraph even really means, but yeah, just time gating is a bit gross. There's reasons to have time gating in a game, but Blizzard uses it too frequently. When everything is time gated, I was thinking about this the other day. I don't want to start a TED talk on time gating, but I was thinking how time gating is almost, it's a vicious circle, right? Because what happens is Blizzard time gates a bunch of stuff. And so because stuff is time gated and the amount of actual stuff you can do on one character is quite limited, you can actually log on to a character and complete your weekly activities in an afternoon. Almost. I mean, you can log on a reset day. You can do Corthia. You can get your Shaping Fate quest done. You can run through your Rift and get the weekly quest done there. Only twice a week do you need to do an assault, even if you care about the assaults. And your Torghast is literally 2 runs, even if you care about that even. For your basic stuff. Now, I know there's doing like 1 million M pluses and killing the raid and all of that sort of stuff. But for the most part, there's not a huge amount of actual weekly content on in any one given character. Often because of time gating. If there was less time gating, you could do more on that one character, right? You could say, right, well, this week I'm going to grind out my reputation with X, Y, or Z. You can't really do that because you're limited by daily quests and you're limited by weekly quests. You're limited by time gating stuff. So what people do to justify playing the game more because they want to play the game more is they make alts. They make lots of alts. They make 3 or 4 alts so that they can experience different characters, and then they repeat the same process again, and that takes up all of their time. But then the problem becomes is that Blizzard has to add more time gating to justify and make it easier for people to play the alts. Then they have to add catch-up systems again to make it easier for you to catch up on the alts that you only made because time gating was in the first place. It's another scenario of that they make a problem and then have to make another problem to fix the first problem. And it just goes round in a vicious circle. People make more alts and then Blizzard has to make more catch up so that you feel as if you can continue to play those alts. But you only made those alts because Blizzard put time gating in the first place. Ugh. Now this is where an expansion release can change all of that, right? If they remove a lot of the time gating and they give you a bunch of stuff to do, if there's enough stuff to do in the game on a single character for you to feel that you can play that single character, then you're good, right? Now I know people want to play warlocks and people want to play hunters and people want to play mages and people want to play, you know, that people want to play the different classes. That's fine. But if you want to play 7 different classes, you have to accept the fact that you might not get everything done on all of them. And this I think is where there's that vicious circle of, you know, stuff is time gated to make it feel like you can, you know, do everything on lots of characters. But then you have to then they have to make catch-up systems to fix that problem that they made in the first place. Yeah, I probably haven't easily described it. We could have probably done a paint diagram for this. We could have made a lovely paint diagram. But it's a bit odd. I got 70 alts only for the mounts though. Yeah. Like the mounts being like weekly drop chance or daily drop chance. Just time gating creates more time gating. Yeah, that's a good way of phrasing it. People naturally circumvent time gating by just making another character, another class, to circumvent the time gating. There's a mount that they want and they can only kill it once a day. Well, I'll make 5 characters then. But then because I've played those other 5 characters, well, now I need some catch up for those other 5 characters. Because Blizzard's made me make 5 characters. I don't know the solution, but the solution, in my opinion, would be to limit the amount of time gating. Make it so that somebody feels as if they can adequately complete what they want to do on a character. And if they choose to do it on another alt, then that's their prerogative. 5 monthly active users, though. Big brain. Well, alts don't count as different monthly active users, though. If you have 5 different accounts, then yeah, maybe they do, but alts don't. At the end of the day, it's all Kotick's fault. Well, yeah, true. Hey, Mantha, you're back. Looks like I'm a little late. I've been back for a while, but yeah, you're right. We're back. All right then. Well, there was my mini rant to round it off. Mini rant to round it off. Let's look at getting Draenor up and running then. I bet my other account's probably logged off. It is, yeah. Right, we've got our new bank character now. What we now need to do is actually focus on getting some progress made on our Draenor characters. What I'd really like to do is get some... I suppose we could probably... Let's work up the path, I suppose. We need to unlock some of the Crafter's Mark gear, because that's a market that I want to get into. Absolutely want to get into the Crafter's Mark gear market. Draenor being a realm that's so ridiculously big, I can't help but believe there's alts being made every single day. There'll be people dinging 60 every single day that will want themselves a nice new shiny set of 200 gear. And I feel I should be providing it to them. So we need to get honoured with Death's Advance. Have I... I guess that means, if nothing else, we just bang out some... we need to bang out some daily quests on these. We're tier 3 codex and we're neutral. Okay, let's just, you know, start at the beginning. Thinking about it, 168 gear. We could still make a bunch of 168 gear. 500 Stygia. It's only, how much Stygia is it for, it's 300 Stygia, right? For 168 crafts, I think. We have, let's do a progress update. We are leatherworking and tailoring on this dude. Maxed out. We have unlocked legendaries. We haven't made any yet, because, you know, expensive. But we've unlocked them at least. What's in our unlearned category? That's the important thing. Heavy desolate armor kits is something we should probably work towards. Time consuming to make, but guaranteed sellers. Although it's 1,300 gold to learn how to make them even. What's the... Whoa! 600 gold a piece? Market value? Outright... Oh, God, I'm going to love this realm. I love playing on big realms. Prices do wacky things. Can we buy 168 gear, though? What's this? Veyren's head. You will receive 1,000 Stygia. Go on, then. Thanks. Where's the Crafter's Mark thingy? Crafter's Mark 2. Teaches you how to craft. Crafter's Mark 2, a powerful option. There we go. 300 Stygia. Bargain. Bargain. Bingo. Leatherworking and tailoring Crafter's Mark 2 unlocked. Now you might be thinking, why the hell are you looking at Crafter's Mark 2. Well, God's honest truth is there's probably far less people trying to sell it, and if you can price it under what, you know, it's cheaper to make, the likelihood is you can craft it for less. There's an opportunity, I'd almost guarantee, for some of the stuff. Haven't got any to make, but I should be able to make them. Yeah, my point being is there's got to be room for opportunity there. Let's do a quick lap of dailies then. Let's get the dailies bashed out. Corthia daily quests. Let's get this neutral better than neutral. Actually, to get Death's Advance to Honoured, we should probably be doing things like the Assault, right? The Assault gives you... Does the Assault give you rep with Death's Advance? I can't remember. It probably does. I might just keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. We might just bang out some daily quests. Get the rep that way. Come Wednesday, we'll have Shaping Fate again. I'm not. The thing is I'm not in a rush. That's the good thing. If you want to min max and want to zerg it and want to do it literally ASAP, then there are ways to do that. But I'm not really in a rush. I've got plenty of stuff I need to do. Ooh, shiny nest of materials. Hang on, we've got dog doo-doo level graphics on the go here. System. Let's make things look a bit better. Outline mode disabled. We want shinies, not purple glowy things. Clear Scholar's Den, alright. Equally got to remember that our gear is tragic. So not to pull the entire zone. I forgot that last time and died terribly. God, my pet's getting eaten alive. Pet's getting farmed. No treasures. No treasures. Yeah, so I want to get Draenor kind of ticking up and running. I want to get to a point where I've got enough gold to start doing some basic crafting. Obviously, I've got to get to the point where I can unlock that basic crafting. So that's what I'm doing now. Once I've done, I probably then basically need to do a couple of daily quests on each of the two characters. Bang out a couple of daily quests. Once we've banged out a couple of daily quests, any spare time I have on this realm, I should probably then look at doing some, just some farming on, really. That seems to be most sensible. Not only will it get my farming character towards 60, it will also generate some liquid gold for us to invest in crafting. I'm sure if I was to, I could probably now, for example, use TSM and say, oi, if I was to do recrafting, what would we be looking at? Leatherworking, tailoring, restock. Yeah, you can see we could spend 100k on just crafting some stuff already. Get some basic stuff. 369 things here. Bunch of shade-bound stuff, presumably Crafter's Mark II things. I might want to change. I don't think I want to be creating 3 of all the Crafter's Mark II gear. Probably only want to be creating 1 of everything. Drums, we should be making some drums. Yes, there's a bunch of stuff we could be making to turn a profit quickly. But we just need the 100k in the first place. That's the kind of stuff that's slower seller, but you know, low value. Probably won't need to worry too much about cancel scanning. Good stuff to get going. And that's kind of the plan. Good stuff to get going. I made the mistake when I started on Torun Mill of I tried to start zerging legendaries way too quickly. And I ended up just never ever having any liquid gold because every penny was invested in legendaries that just weren't selling. I need to avoid doing that this time. Slow and steady wins the race, I think, on this realm now. Get ourselves a bit more of a crafting empire up and running rather than just trying to zerg straight towards legendaries as fast as possible. As long as we've got a couple of legendary slots on the go, though, we'll be good for patch 9.2. If I can get the meta stuff, if I can get Dawn crafting up and running, if I can get capes and, you know, that sort of stuff out the way, that can be the high turnaround, hopefully money maker that funds the rest of the stuff. Second realm started out in Legos with just 100k gold, worked out pretty well. Yeah, I know you don't need a huge amount, but at the same time, I don't want to end up with too much liquid gold sunk into legendaries this time. And like I said, at the same time, I need to be slightly cautious in that we're this is not our home realm. This is not our main realm. This is just this is our bit on the side. This is our side hustle. This is how we make a bit of gold on another realm, but it's not our main focus. Four level 60s and a dedicated auction house account is not necessarily a side hustle for everybody, I appreciate, but do pet things, please. Pet aggro, hello? What are we doing out here? We're just killing things. Alright, sure. We can kill things. I'm kind of, and another reason why I'm kind of happy to hold off on legendaries is that I know I can't use Corthite crystals as a cheeky, easy path to making cheap rank 4s. I need to wait until the bubble bursts on Corthite crystals over here before I can do that. So I probably will push myself through rank 1 hell in a few of the things. If the rank 1 hell being the fact that you give yourself you have no other choice with rank 1s but to just craft 15 of them. So the sooner you can do that, the sooner you can get them listed, and the sooner you can hopefully sell a few. Because there's no other option there. But anything past rank 1, you got the option to craft with vestiges to make it cheaper, assuming Corthite crystals are the right price. And I would want to do that because I would know, you know, rank 4s I know will still sell. But it's only worthwhile if I can get the Corthite crystals cheap enough. Today's a good day for skinning though, by the way, boys and girls. If you need some leather, with the Mauler's Outlook quest up, anybody running through here killing all of these things is going to just be leaving their corpses for anybody to come and claim. If I had a skinner, I would probably be doing the same myself. Skinning doesn't fit into my character setup though, unfortunately. Hang on, there's what's this down here? Dislodged nest. Oh, Ah, jeez, I can't remember how you do this. How do you do the dislodged nest thing? Oh, you grab a bug, don't you? You grab a bug. Hang on, you kill things first. Your pet does pet things first, though. Christ. This crab is useless. Actually useless. You grab a bug. You use the bug to get on top of something. I heard you say multi-boxing. Is it dead in 9.2? No. It's as dead as it is right now, which is not dead at all. I'm the only one that's dead, though. Christ. No, there's no multi-boxing changes. I think you misheard what I was saying. Multi-boxing there's no difference to it at all. The only comparison I made with multi-boxing was that in patch 8.3, when we got Najatar and the whole bunch of new materials in Najatar, every man and their dog, including all of the druid multi-boxers, headed to Najatar to do farming there, meaning that the price of anchorweed skyrocketed because all of a sudden nobody was farming it. And considering it's technically the rare material, its price not only skyrocketed, it also stayed there for quite a while. To draw a comparison to what we might see in 9.2, when everybody goes to Zerith Mortis and does their farming of the new materials, Nightshade might not be as freely available as it is right now. Now, sure, Nightshade is all over the moor, but when everybody leaves Korthia in the dust, is there really going to be a huge overstockpile of Nightshade? Who knows? Grab bug, throw at boar, ram into tree. Yeah, something like that if I remember right. I now need to find another bug though. Screw it, I'll do it another day. It's literally a treasure, I don't care. Son of a... Substantial amount of devourer blood. I don't remember this quest. What is this? Just killing stuff? Oh, hungering behemoth. Oh, you just pew pew one dude then. Cool. I can live with that one. Yeah, I should probably put together a bit of a checklist of stuff to do before 9.2. As I imagine I'm going to get asked it quite frequently now that we're starting to get info. Even though we haven't got a PTR yet, but the early bird catches the worm, and I think it's smart for people to start looking forward. 80 renown and 9.1 campaign are obvious things to suggest people get done, because you know once they're done, they're done. We don't know if you're going to require that in 9.2 to do anything, but just like how the Vestige of Origins was kind of locked off unless you'd done the campaign, and you needed 40 renown to like do the campaign. It ended up being that in patch 9.1 it would have been very sensible to have gone into it with the campaign done and 40 renown. So by that logic, I will be suggesting people do the same going into patch 9.2, regardless of whether we know it be necessity or not. 1, get long boy. Yeah, true. True. Big true. Get long boy. Feel a sense of accomplishment that can never be overcome. Quit game. That's my destiny. They did say we'll not go over Renown 80. They did. They've already said there'll be no new Renown to grind in patch 9.2. But that does not mean that there won't be something that requires you to have 80 renown to even begin in patch 9.2. Unlikely to be the case, but especially considering things like the transferring of anima from one character to another, I mean, if nothing else, right? There's the appearances and the transmog and the pets and stuff from the different covenants. I would at least look at getting a character to renown 80 in each of the covenants, which in essence means doing it 4 times. What's going on over here? We need to go kill something over here. If I do the maths on it, considering I try to play semi-actively on 3 realms currently, I'm going to be looking at doing the campaign and grinding 80 renown on, I think, quick maths, 7 characters. And I need to do that before I get too engrossed in PTR 9.2 stuff. So this is kind of why I'm getting some of it out of the way now. Now, most people who don't really care to play the PTR will have all the way up until patch 9.2 goes live, but as soon as it's PTR season, I tend to move over to the PTR and pretty much live there. You know, for the purpose of content creation. Whoa, where did all these soul fragments come from? This is new. These don't usually all turn up, do they? Or do they? Maybe I've just... I don't know. Cool. By the way, how often does the black market auction house show up on... how often does the long boy show up on the black market auction house? TLDR, it doesn't. Containers only, as it stands at the moment, and even that's not confirmed. I would absolutely love for somebody to send me some, either a screenshot or some video footage of somebody getting a long boy out of a black market auction house container. Because I'm going to be honest, I've never seen it happen. It'll be a banging YouTube video when it does, though. Thumbnailed and titled, right? That's a 100k video right there.
You have my attention, Mar Walker.
Right, is that daily? Yeah, done dailies on this dude now. 10 Corthite crystals kicking about. That's 7,500 gold based on this crazy realms prices right now. You know what? I'm going to sell these Corthite crystals because they're high price right now. There's no point in me keeping them. Get them sold. Bang them out there. Let's fix these bags. They look gross. I'll add some fake loot boxes in LST. Where's me? Okay, there's a vendor dude here. Use the vendor dude. Sell some trash. Send some materials over to... oh, I haven't got groups set up over here. Operations, mailing operation, new mailing operation, target player, streamer luck. Groups, Shadowlands professions. What does this character need to keep? He needs to keep tailoring stuff, so he needs to keep cloth. He needs to keep leatherworking stuff. So enchanting stuff can get sent over. Mailing. Send it to Streamer Luck. In fact, we're gonna go this. We're just gonna mail all materials to the bank character, and if I ever need any, I send them back. Simple. If I ever need them, I send them back. Simple is as simple does. Save those settings. Clickbait generator mode activated. I'm surprised there's not an add-on that does that, you know. And I'm surprised there's not a YouTuber that hasn't tried to pull that one. Because, you know, anybody that I know this is if you're not if you're not British, you may not even know this is a thing. But you know how all of the FIFA YouTubers have been quite well renowned for faking their pack openings. It like, you know, when they open a FIFA pack and they get like Ronaldo or something. It's so frequently known that they've faked those. I'm amazed somebody hasn't done the same with black market auction house containers. Be pretty simple to verify. I'm sure it would, but groups. Deselect all groups. Materials. Mail. Boom. Did Corthite crystals go in that list as well? Yeah. Corthite crystals. The whole lot. Off to Streamer Luck. Now, in theory. Wow, we sold 232 marrow root already. There's 7k. Boom. Balling. Far more entertaining to see 100 gold pet inside a black market auction house container. There's two extremes, right? Two extremes. People either want to see a Brutosaur pop out of it, or yeah, they want to see a pattern for a profession that they don't own. There's two opposite. You either want to see somebody ecstatic, or you want to see somebody smash their table because they've spent 1 million gold on a pattern they can't even use. Yeah, there's two types of people in this world. Two types of people in this world. Wow. Well, there's 8,000 gold for some Corthite crystals. Who says gold making's difficult? Do my TSM groups by default? I can't remember. Do my Patreon groups actually post stuff? No. I don't have... Ah, yeah. I don't have auction... Why is this over here, for starters? What's going on here? Let's make this look a little bit more sensible. That's one thing I probably need to change, you know. My Shadowlands groups, even for my Patreons, don't have auctioning operations for most materials. Which is an oversight. Zanzaful bought a container for over $1 mil, only had an orange tabby cat in it. Yeah, exactly. Now, I worked it out the other day that... Talk about instant sales. You did see me, right? I posted those Corthite crystals on the auction house all of about 4.5 seconds ago. That's funny. Yeah, I worked it out the other day. If I can buy black market auction house containers for like 600k, and if I can post videos of me opening them on YouTube and get like 20k views on the video, they pay for themselves. I remember in BFA I was in a bidding war with another person, and then he won and opened it and whispered me, "Why the fuck did you do a bidding war on it when it was just some old raid transmog I didn't even need?" It's funny. You're gonna get into a bidding war, then, you know, it's on you. Sell some ribs. Sell some shadowy shank. Sell some more wings. Phantasmal haunch. Up it goes. Ethereal meat. Bang it out there. Porous stone. See you later. Lace stripe. In a bit. Pallid bone. 42 silver for pallid bones. Server's expensive. Damn expensive. I also think one of the most common reasons why people don't make as much gold, nearly as much gold as they could, is simply for the fact that they don't sell all of the shit that they don't need. I bet if people cleared out their bags, I genuinely think if people cleared out their bags and bank of all the trash they don't need and just sold it on the auction house, they'd be 500,000 gold richer. I'm sure the amount of trash that just ends up kicking about in people's bags is outrageous. I'm sure some of us have 10 plus devices we can use to generate some extra... No. I'm not even... Hell to the no. You know what else we should send? Streamer luck. This bag thing. 32 slot bag. I don't care for 32 slot bag. Sell it. Sell it. No. No. What's going on? Relax now. Boom. Right. New character, new bunch of dailies real quick. Saw a screenshot from one of my raiders yesterday. They're still running around with corruption gear in their bags. Yeah. People's bags are just gross. My bags are not exactly great, and I get stick from you guys every time I stream, but my bags are messy. Imagine lots of people just vendor it because they can't be bothered to list it. Probably. But for most people, you got to remember that to list something on the auction house is effort, because they have to take their character to an auction house, and you know, take a character to an auction house, list it all, and then go back to do what they were doing, unless of course they have a second account or a long boy, which is still the minority of people. Or just find a Bruto somewhere in the city. That's true, I suppose. Even still. It's not like for me, all I need to do is find a mailbox.
What is my task?
And just send it over to a character and, you know, let that character do its thing. And then loot the mailbox in 30 days. Yeah. Yeah, when people forget to do it, yeah. Cows are not designed for climbing trees. I found that some people would actively dismount the NPCs on the mount so others can't use them. Yeah, I know. I found that funny. Hey, what's going on here? Pre-Covenant switched event there. Why? Yeah, maybe. What? Just to climb up trees easy, so you have a port up to the top of the trees. I'd have to get rid of Divine Toll to do that though. I'm not willing to do that on my Paladin. No, thank you. Trolled so many people with a Brutosaur. And it's a bit anti-sportsman-like. It's like booing somebody. It's like kind of like, well, you don't have to. And if you want to be a dick about it, sure, but let me go get this chest before it disappears. There's Scholar's Den done. We're going to kill Croak the Bloke real quick. Anybody for Croak the Bloke? Somebody's pew-pewing him. The most annoying thing is people that run around the middle of Ouroboros on their Brutosaur. So that you have to either carefully try and run with them. And even if you manage to keep up with them, they then change direction and like halfway through a scan, it's like, you son of a... People are just toying with you at that point. Am I a game to you? That's me. Yeah. You're nasty. You're bad, bad humans. The thing that got me started was when I got a hate whisper from somebody when I was dismounting because I started crafting. Yeah. Yeah, even if you weren't doing it because you're just being a dick. And then somebody gives you grief for it. I'm a terrible human being. Actually shocking performance. You should have strong words with yourself. If you've spent the time to farm up 5 million gold to buy that Brutosaur, you should know your place. And your place is to stand in Ouroboros and do nothing for the rest of your days. For the greater good. No, let me have a tag on that lot, please. Stupid druids hogging all of the kills. I paid 5 million to be a dick. I guess it works like that, I suppose. Oh, the druids are out here in force, look. It's skinning day. Told you it's skinning day. I still think if they should make it so that I don't know, there's like I don't know how they would do it, but I still think it'd be funny if there was like a revenue share on the Bruto, like so that people who use the auction house on your Brutosaur, you get like a rev share of whatever it was that they were using your Brutosaur for. I mean, I think that would borderline make the Bruto more than broken, but at least your skinners make sense. Mine all seem to be warriors, paladins, and warlocks. Yeah, I never understood why anybody would be a skinner on any class that's not a druid. Demon Hunter maybe, just because they've got crazy mobility and good Zerg DPS, but even then it's like surely. But then again, you forget that there are equally just as many people out there that don't have 12 ults and don't have every class you know, leveled up. Got a Hunter Skinner fight me. Well, Hunter equally doesn't make a bad choice of a Skinner, mainly because it's thematic, right? If you're a Hunter, there's also a good chance you're a leather worker. You wear male gear, it makes sense for you to be a Skinner. The fact that Hunters also have a relatively easy time soloing things, and they have a pet that can do the heavy lifting for them, it does make sense. This is kind of why you see Warlocks doing it as well, even though Warlocks have slightly less control over their pet. But is this all we need to do for this daily? I think it is. %30 move speed out of combat. Yeah, I suppose that helps if it's yeah, if you need to run around a bit, I suppose. Still though, I mean, Guardian Druid, just run around, tag things. Ranged tagging ability, they're just OP. Oh, I'm not. No, I'm. We might as well grab the rare if it's here. I do kind of, this is a discussion that came up recently, but I do kind of wish that gathering professions were made baseline at this point. Having to have dedicate, like, this is not just from a gold making elitist point of view. The fact that you have to have a specific profession to run past a herb and to be able to pick it up, I think back in the day, sure, fine, but it's just old now. It's like, come on, Blizz, just let people gather stuff, you know? It's the fundamental of goal making. It's the fundamental of, you know, if you're running around playing the game, then you should be able to pick stuff up, for Christ's sake. It's kind of bad enough having, you know, locked chests, although they've gone away from locked chests now. For the same reason, that having to be a flipping rogue to, you know. Make herbalism, mining, and even skinning baseline. And cloth gather, because then that would put them in the same realms as, you know, cloth gathering. We don't consider cloth gathering a profession because it's just baked into tailoring. Tailors get a bonus to the amount of cloth, but everybody can gather cloth by default. Now, I don't see why tailoring gets that advantage, and leatherworkers get, you know, get the raw end of the stick. Blacksmiths get the raw end of the stick. Alchemists, well, basically everybody else gets the raw end of the stick. This is why tailoring has always been a relatively good goal-making profession. Because you can be self-sufficient and then have another profession on top of it. You can gather your own materials on a tailor. You can gather your own materials more effectively than anybody else can gather those materials. Those materials are equally likely to be some of the cheaper materials in the first place, because everybody can gather them. It creates an actual, true, proper baseline for these things, which I think is good. You disenchant with enchanting. Yeah. Can you imagine if disenchanting and enchanting were two different professions? How annoying that would be. I mean, like I said, the argument is that, well, it's been that way in the game literally forever, but that is not reason enough to not change it. Drop rate will go down. Gold per hour, no more worth it. I think Blizzard needs to move away from, and they almost have, right? Like the way to play this game, quote unquote, for free and to make substantial amounts of gold in this game outside of actually dedicating yourself to gold making, you should passively be able to make a reasonable amount of gold in the game just by playing the game. Which in recent years you've started to be able to do more effectively. Like we've had callings, like daily quests being more rewarding. You know, they've started to go in that. We've had the mission tables. They've been going in that direction. But you shouldn't have to make dedicated characters to just do something as simple as farming, in my opinion. Right, daily quests are done here. Let's get all of our... Let's sort our bags out because they're a mess. This is once you pour so you can buy tokens. Yeah, but they should equally give you the illusion... If nothing else, they should at least give you the illusion of that you don't have to be poor. There are some people that buy tokens because they know the alternative is making dedicated farming characters to go out and do farming, and they don't want to do that. But if everybody, you know, I guess it falls into the category of like universal basic income, right? Like if everybody has the ability just by playing the game to generate that little bit more gold, yet if you do a bit of crafting on top, or you do choose to do a bit of dedicated farming, you get a benefit from it. I don't know if I'm maybe trying to crowbar in a good reason why this should be a thing, but it feels to me like baseline gathering is an obvious way to go nowadays. And I don't think it's just me being like, you know, I don't think it's just me wanting something because it's of a benefit to me. I don't even do farming. I don't even do gathering. I don't care. It doesn't make any difference to me from that perspective. Why do my material groups not show up? Haha, because this character is using the wrong profile. That would be why. How we doing, Goliath? Welcome in. Good to see you. Maybe it could be like the people who have gathering profession then get higher drop rate, like tailoring. Yeah. I mean, it could work in a similar fashion. Or if you're a blacksmith, then you have a better. You know, if you're a blacksmith, then you get more ore. Or if you're an alchemist, you get more herbs. The primary profession for those materials gets a boost, just like how tailoring gets a benefit to cloth. Your primary material you get a boost for in gathering. Job done. Make it the same as tailoring. Blizzard actually caused themselves more problems by not having gathering baseline, because it means they have to do yet more balancing. We saw this at the when we got patch 9.1. They mistakenly, in my opinion, balanced the amount of lightless silk that was needed based on some basic US realm data. To need 400 lightless silk was broken and borderline just wrong. But they have to make these sweeping changes to either like huge amounts of materials needed, or they have to change drop rates, or they have to do, oh, let's now out of nowhere just double the amount of Corthite crystals everybody gets. All of this is because they don't balance things properly. And if they made gathering baseline, they could control far more easily the amount of materials that people gained. In very early days of Shadowlands, for example, the very early days of Shadowlands, they had to very quickly nerf the drop rates of cloth on a lot of things because people were going tailoring and 2x4 farming. What they didn't take into consideration was that the second that those people stopped doing that, there was a problem. And then when they balance things based off bad data, I don't know. I'm ranting again, aren't I? I'm hungry. My God, tell you what, selling materials on this realm is just stupid. Look how quickly we're selling these materials. Quick. Get them listed. They sell quicker than we can post them. Malleable wire, 75 gold a piece. If I sell some of those, it's funny. I'll even try listing these regular gems simply on the basis that there isn't any. 6 more Korthite crystals, off you go. Gold cap, good luck. Good luck with your gold cap Korthite crystals. What realm for research purposes only? This is Draenor. Bonkers crazy realm. Actually bonkers crazy. So, another 10k of just sold stuff. The likelihood is those new Korthite crystals we posted will sell as well. Not doing too badly. We're at a point where we should, given the good old Draenor, I hate that realm. Sure. I mean, so far I love it. We'll see if my opinions change, but as of so far, when it comes to selling materials, on a Monday morning, materials are just boom, bang them out there. On a Monday morning, sure. It's all gravy. But we're getting there. We need to do a little bit more rep grinding to unlock Crafter's Mark 3 and Crafter's Mark of the Chained Isle. But once we've got that in place on both of the characters, we should adequately be able to start crafting a few bits and pieces and getting it sold. I need to spend a few hours doing some farming, so that might be what we look at doing tomorrow. Getting some farming out the way. I'm just trying to get Draenor up and running a little bit before the inevitable PTR season begins. We're getting there. We've also now got our bank character set up. We need to level enchanting on this before we can start with legendaries. Actually, it might be worthwhile putting together our shopping list before too long to keep an eye on prices. But we're getting there. It's all good. I'm going to leave it there for today, though, boys and girls. A slightly shorter stream today, simply for the fact that I've got a few bits and pieces that I need to be doing this afternoon and later on this evening. We'll be back tomorrow, though. We'll be back probably continuing on with Draenor. Maybe doing a little bit of renown catch-up on some of my other characters. I need to just make sure I get things like the basic renown farming done out the way. You know, your shaping fate and that sort of stuff done. But enjoy the rest of your day, boys and girls. Happy goal making, and I will see you all tomorrow in a bit. Peace.